The Viz invasion has happened. Cyberfrog awakens after 20 years in hibernation. His mother, Kilsin, is missing. He's offline and separated from Salamandroid. Cyberfrog tracks Heather using the microbead he implanted years ago. He finds her living in the woods with her daughter Lily and a band of survivors. But
hey everybody, how's it going? Just me and Nicholas here to talk about some really stupid conspiracy stuff. Say hi, Nicholas.
Hello.
You're supposed to say hi, Nicholas. That was the whole point of that.
Who?
Say hi, Nicholas. Supposed to say
Oh shit,
hi,
my camera's
Nicholas.
on, isn't it?
It is. Why, you don't want it on?
No.
I could pause it and go back. Hold on.
No,
I'll cut that part out.
no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I said hey right away.
I know. Just messing around. So first, since we got a whole there's actually people watching.
I won't interrupt you like I did him.
No, you're fine. You can interrupt me if I say something stupid.
I won't tell you what to do. Like I did that little boy called Matt Bond.
So we're gonna start off. I know it's early and everything. There's probably only a couple people watching, but we got to get into the first things that's most important of the day, which is the breaking news about the solar flare.
Good morning, folks. We've got a couple key items to hit today. We'll be looking at a solar eruption, a solid earthquake in the West Pacific, and a great analysis on grand solar minimum and why the modern one isn't going to be as bad as Maunder. Let's start with the last 24 hours on our star, and the eruption will be visible bottom left. Incoming sunspots unleashed a long-duration blast in CME. NOAA is modeling a solar wind enhancement from a coronal hole coming tomorrow, but what about the CME that erupted yesterday morning? Well, here's a better look at it in 131 angstroms. The flare came from the incoming spots on the south. The after-flare arcs indicate the power of the blast. Flare reached M5 level and lasted a few hours. Long one like this always is going to produce a CME, especially when those arcs persist on the ionized helium view, the red one.
And look at that. Isn't that crazy looking? See it coming out here?
Yeah, it looks like the solar flare stuff. It isn't
Yeah.
just one big constant explosion.
Well, the sun is constantly like exploding and everything, but whenever the stuff gets released from the disk, or they call it a disk, but it's not. It's a ball. It's a lot of stuff. Like the Earth is like tiny. Like this flare is probably 20, 30 times bigger than the Earth.
It's plenty of time to cool down, luckily, by the time it hits us.
It's the protons and stuff. It's
One
not the
here,
heat,
304 angstroms. Now, neither
yeah,
NASA nor NOAA's Enlil spirals show this one being aimed towards the Earth, and that may be true, but honestly, I don't think we can be sure. SOHO shows the bulk of the eruption heading off to the left and southward, but look at the 12, 1, and 2 o'clock positions above the central blocking disk. It does appear to have an edge of the CME making a halo. Now, that could be towards the far side, but it could also mean we are going to take a glancing blow from the event. It's already surging high-energy protons towards the Earth. We'll see this week if Earth takes a double impact or if it's just the coronal hole. Meanwhile, we're also watching the sunspots. Bigger ones traversing the disk have remained quiet. New ones incoming on the south already fired at least one big flare. We'll have eyes open. Top seismic event of the last day is here, 6.4 in Papua New Guinea. They handle mid-6s very well in this area. No major reports of damage from this one. The top science article of the day is this. With a prediction of the next solar cycle, they are suggesting that it is part of the modern minimum of solar activity. Now, while some grand minima like Maunder in the 1600s caused the Little Ice Age, others, like at the end of the 1800s, weren't so bad at all. That's what this one is shaping up to be like rather than Maunder, which would actually be a very good thing agriculturally looking to the years ahead. We greatly appreciate your support watching the solar wind for those impacts this week. We'll do this all again tomorrow, right here. But right now it's 5:30 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.
Well, that was interesting, huh? Big flare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
New ones
So
too.
we'll see. New ones and stuff. So we'll see what happens.
Seems like it dissipates. Hey, Blackroyd.
Hey, Dan Blackroyd in the chat. What's up? You can come on the stream, Dan. I put the link out there. We're just going to be talking about some CIA stuff and then maybe some expanding Earth. I don't know. Get into some different stuff.
We could also EFAP some streams
We could.
later.
We could EFAP the EFAP of the EFAP of the stream. But anyway, this is Operation Acoustic Kitty. This is when the CIA decided to try and put a bug inside of a cat to get it to go into the
Yeah, I like crazy ways they've done surveillance stuff.
yeah. So let's see here.
The cat that was used for the experiment had to be cut open and have a power.
Oh wow. Look at special guest
Young
appearance.
cat.
Wow. Hey,
What's up?
I got a link from somebody.
Yeah, I
We're
sent you
talking
the link.
about yep, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You were the somebody, Jim.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, did somebody else send it? What the fuck's going on? Oh man. Hey,
We're just
were on a-
randomly posting it.
Yeah, we were on a stream earlier with Matt Barr, me and Nicholas.
I'm
And Ethan
sorry.
Came on. Nah, it was all right. He was. You know what? I think I might have actually. I think I might have actually made some headway. No pun intended.
With the head wound.
No, listen. He doesn't have a head wound. That's that is scandalous, and I won't stand for anybody saying that about my new friend Matt Barr. All right, me and him, we're simpatico, and I think I might have bridged the gap. And him and Ethan talked today on stream, and I think it went well. And I think we can expect good things to come from the Matt Barr EVS Alliance. Hopefully, maybe a book called The Girthy Stallion or something about girth.
Jim can fix
Okay.
it.
I can fix anything. I've got an awesome set of tools. My dad was a TV repairman.
Just don't name a show
Don't-
that.
Don't touch those capacitors. They hold a charge.
You got to short them out first. So anyway, do you know anything about Operation Acoustic Kitty?
I do not. This is a new one I've not heard of.
Okay. Yeah, well, see, the CIA, they wanted to spy on the Russians. And so they
Right.
decided, hey, let's implant a microphone inside a cat and try to train it to go where we want it to go. How do you think
This
that
didn't
worked
end
out?
well, did it?
No, it did not. Well. No, it did not end. So here, let's see.
Power pack placed inside its abdomen.
What if I told
Get
you
it into the
that
abdomen.
during the Cold War, the CIA attempted to turn cats into spies? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi novel, but this was real life, and it was called Operation Acoustic Kitty, one of the most bizarre and ambitious espionage projects ever conceived.
There was a target in the Far East who, head of state, who allowed cats to roam freely in his conference room and in his offices. Lots of cats, many cats.
Stick around, because you're about to uncover how far the CIA was willing to go in its quest for intelligence and why it ended in both humor and tragedy. This story will take you deep into the strange world of Cold War espionage, where creativity knew no bounds and sometimes the absurd became reality.
In recognizing a communist, physical appearance counts for nothing. If he openly declares himself to be a communist, we take his word for it.
That's one thing I can agree with them. If someone tells you they're a
Right.
communist, you believe them.
Sort of like Matt Parr.
I didn't. That was. Why didn't you bring that up? I didn't get to ask him. That was the one thing I didn't get to ask him.
I was just there to.
What did he
rile
say?
him
He's a commie?
No,
Is he a
no,
pinko
no. He
up. You
was,
did ask him.
he
You
was
did try to
talk-
talk about it. You
I
tried
did,
to
but
talk
because
about it.
I tried to get into it, but then I got sidetracked on something. But he did say he was kind of in a commune in California, you know, with goats and stuff. And
Really?
yeah, you don't remember that? He was talking about when he went to
I
Humboldt,
was laughing
California.
really hard for a while.
Jonestown 2.0 coming up.
You know, and that he said he went all Jack Kerouac and traveled across the country and ended up in California and didn't realize it
Trust
was
fund.
in the green triangle of California where they grow all the weed. He was on a farm. Yeah.
Oh, that's one thing that man cares a lot about.
Yeah. So, but you know, anyway.
He tried arguing that he doesn't smoke much pot today.
Dude, I've never heard him on a stream and not start the bubbles in the background.
It's like, Matt, we can hear the ball.
Yeah, well, you know, but I just don't think people should. I would advise people not to do drugs. They're not good for you. I mean, they're fun and you can have fun with them and
Okay.
stuff, but they usually end up bad. You know, and if you're not an
Yeah.
expert like me, you don't want to mess with drugs.
Look, I'm just saying, I believe that one of the side effects is paranoia.
Oh yeah. Well, no, this new stuff actually. There's been a lot of studies. I tried to bring that up on the stream. But, you know, that there's a lot of studies about the you know, once you get over 20% THC, you start getting like serious psychosis effects on the brain, and the younger you
Yeah.
are, the worse the effects are.
And it's not necessarily everybody. But
Well, I don't have to worry about that
No,
anymore
not
then.
everyone.
Not-
Yeah.
I mean, but it's yeah. Well, I mean, the science on that stuff has been out there for decades. But yeah, the more potent it gets, the worse it's likely going to get.
So anyway, so this I don't
Not
know
to
why
sound
this
an
video.
IFAK
There's this
THC,
guy
so-
at a bar, and it sure looks like an Asian dude at the bar. So let's see where this goes.
Matt at an Asian bar? What was that?
The Cold War wasn't just a geopolitical standoff, it was a breeding ground for
See, I need to get some. See how he's got this head title like this with the flames? I got to figure out how to do that. That's cool.
I can teach you things.
I haven't selected.
Although
the
I
right
would,
prompt.
Cold War shouldn't have
It
flames.
should be like ice, right?
Ice.
Is that-
Yeah.
innovation, where the boundaries of science, technology, and even common sense were pushed to their limits.
By the 1960s, the CIA developed bugs small enough to be hidden in a table or chair leg, or even in a cat.
On one side, you had the
Dun
United
dun.
States, and on the other, the Soviet Union. Both superpowers locked in a relentless struggle for global dominance. While nuclear weapons and space races grabbed the headlines, there was another war being fought in the shadows, the war of espionage. Intelligence gathering was at the heart of the Shadow War. The stakes were incredibly high, and both sides were desperate for any edge they could get. This led to some of the most creative and sometimes downright bizarre ideas in the history of espionage. The CIA's Directorate of Science and Technology, or
What are these
DS&T,
people thinking?
was the agency's hub for such innovation.
What?
What are these people thinking?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? This guy, I don't know. Is he wearing gloves? Or is his hands
He's just
that
very,
white?
very
That is very
pale.
weird. Or is this CG? You
Looks
think
like
this
a
is
doctor.
AI?
It's not AI. It's a bad stock photo. You can actually make out the text on the. This is the epidemic of influenza.
Oh, he maybe he's got, like,
Influenza.
maybe he's wearing those gloves, like the neoprene. Or
Yeah.
what I'm talking about, like surgical gloves, the white ones.
No, this is
No,
old.
that's
Back then it would have been latex.
Ah, latex. See, is that why they ask if you have a latex allergy when you go to the
They
hospital?
keep. Yeah, that is why actually.
Okay.
Pretty much suck. You get an
Innovation.
infection just because of it.
Their mission? To dream up the next big thing in spy tech, no matter how outlandish it might seem.
At the CIA, our scientists and engineers create and apply innovative technology to meet intelligence needs.
Enter Operation
And that was a
Acoustic
crazy 90s
The
commercial
basic
right
idea
there.
is deceptively simple. Cats are agile, curious, and often ignored by people. Perfect.
Oh, we did get it wasn't a strike last night. It was a content ID claim on that Huff the gas can thing.
Oh, but not on any of the ones that I suggested, right?
Oh, what? Mange number. What the fuck? Sean's got. What the fuck's going on? There's comics for sale.
There are first issue collector's item mange.
Oh
Really?
man, why are they
Mange?
fucking with me? All right,
That's
I'm gonna have to.
you gonna pick one up for me?
I'm gonna pick up a couple.
Qualities for a spy.
We appreciate it, Jim.
Why not use them as covert operatives, equipped with tiny surveillance equipment to gather intelligence from the most secure and sensitive locations? It was a bold idea, one that pushed the limits of both technology and imagination.
The CIA's wizards
Okay,
think
it's
that
not
if they
on
can
here.
implant
Where
a
is
bug into the ear of a cat and introduce it to this gang of felines,
They've got it on
perhaps they can
King's.
have a mobile listening
Go
device.
to
that
Shane's
no
channel
one
real
will
quick.
suspect.
All right.
The transition from concept to
Let's see what they're saying about it.
A couple of like outtake photos and do variants of the same cover. But I would like one of you screaming on.
Yeah. Well, right now we'll see how the one does. We're just going to see how the one does.
You undressed in that field, but those leaves are sticky and itchy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was only my top, but I poke out, and this family's just standing there looking at me, horrified. In the camera,
you weren't wearing pants.
What is the
the photographer turns to them and is like,
Back it
"No,
up a little
don't
bit.
worry. She covered for me." She's like, "He's just a stand."
the camera.
Excited I am to have a
Oh, not that far. Not that far.
Let's clear the air.
I'm just kind of loose. Guess he's kind of feminine but muscular and kind of emo. John, Ethan, you've inspired me with your Trump cover.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
You've
Sounds like you're showing something.
You've inspired me, Ethan. And,
Yeah, it was really amazing what I did. What'd you do?
Yeah, I don't know how this will do, but I'm thinking.
Oh my God! What the hell?
500 limited edition first issue collector's item.
John, why are you letting him do this? What is going on?
Why are you letting him?
I have a hard time believing this.
You
is
should have
real.
had the one with
What's
the
the book
crucifix
gonna
and
be?
the stigmata.
Is it-
Like,
This is
I
gonna
think she's a
be.
beautiful man. That's-
I do like the logo though.
Look, the chat are like $100 cover. There's like
It's an instant classic, Shane. An instant classic.
I mean, if he was gonna do like a Starlight Cats limited run with a
I think this is mainly a joke at this
that's what I'm
point.
saying, and I can see it, but otherwise, I don't see it's not a mange book. So why would it say mange?
It's not a Trump book. it's a Cyberfrog book.
It's a Cyberfrog book. So yeah, this doesn't. It's just him fucking around.
The one where he's young.
500. What do you think, Ethan? Bad idea. Good.
I
idea?
love it. I think you should do it.
Katie did take my money.
I mean,
500 of
like
these.
to see
Only
a mange
500
book,
of these.
but-
Mange
If he
book
limits it to
runs,
500, he's selling it.
rapping,
He's selling out in 3 minutes.
oh my God!
Yeah.
See, the women are turning out for it. I want
That
that.
thing
And
would turn a good
You should
profit.
make mange body pillows for the women.
Yeah.
Look, Eric did the
Dangerous.
logo. I wasn't expecting much, and he actually worked in. Like, I never realized Mange's mustache is like tiger fangs.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
You gotta let that tiger out.
Yeah, you gotta let that out. So if you guys want it, come get it. They're like $200 confirmed. No, it's just gonna be $25, but there's only 500 of them.
Where?
Great job, Eric. She's all about this. Wow, the women audience, guys, we got to get out there and show some skin. I feel like our views.
Well,
will go
maybe
up
he's
and
gonna
our
do it.
sales, maybe it'll go up.
And there's a lot of skin on this panel.
Yeah.
A lot of
There's a lot of skin on that cover.
He's lying.
Yeah,
If it
I remember
happened,
when I
it'd be a
took
good
this
idea.
photo. We were taking a family photo, and I told the photographer, "I'm like, I just need to
Okay,
take a funny photo.
he's going
Fine,
into the
it's fine."
story
What I didn't
about
realize
when
is
they
this field of
Did
flowers
the photo
were-
shoot?
that it's queued up. That
It's
all
not
the
on his
photographers have
website,
all
so-
these families here waiting.
Let's go back to talking about the
There
CIA's
is a
pussies.
family
All right.
sweating in the sun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Like,
Oh, Battle Brick Road. Yeah, I got this.
Thank you.
I like it.
Nice.
Yeah, you can pick up the first book,
All right, let's go back.
and
to
we're
this.
almost done with the second one. So
Reality was anything but straightforward. Imagine the challenges. First, the DS&T team had to figure out how to equip a cat with the necessary technology without hindering its natural behavior. This wasn't just about miniaturization. It was about seamlessly integrating cutting-edge tech into a living, breathing, unpredictable animal.
A veterinary surgeon installs a power pack and transmitter in the cat's abdomen, a microphone inside its ear canal, and an antenna along its spine. Acoustic Kitty is then put through its paces in the lab.
This was no small feat. The microphone had to be small enough to go unnoticed, yet sensitive enough to pick up conversations in the surrounding environment. It also had to be durable enough to withstand the cat's daily activities. After all, a spy cat couldn't be sidelined by a little wear and tear. But that was just the beginning. Next came the radio transmitter, a critical piece of the puzzle. This device, which was surgically implanted at the base of the cat's skull, would transmit the audio picked up by the microphone to a remote receiver where CIA operatives could listen in.
Wires were run up to its ear, to its cochlea, wires to its brain to determine when it was hungry or sexually aroused, and wires to override these urges.
The surgery required to implant this device was delicate and complex, as the translator
just
had
say
to be
that they
placed in a way that
wired it
wouldn't
up to
interfere with the
affect its
cat's movement
behavior.
or health. And then
This
there
is
was the
starting to
antenna.
make me
This
question
might
the
be the most
existence
ingenious
of
part the whole project.
Garfield and its
The
purpose.
antenna was woven into the cat's fur, hidden from view, but essential for transmitting the signals. This step required a painstaking attention to detail. Every strand of fur had to be in the right place to ensure the antenna worked without being detected.
The bug worked fine. The microphone worked fine. The battery worked fine. In fact, the cat could even be trained to move some short distances on command.
Equipping a cat with spy gear was one thing, but training it to carry out its mission was an entirely different challenge. Unlike dogs, which can be trained to follow commands, cats are known for their independence. They do what they want, when they want, a trait that makes them both lovable and frustrating.
But in the real world, getting a cat to go exactly where you want it isn't easy.
The CIA's team used a variety of behavioral conditioning techniques to try to direct the cat's movements. This included everything from positive reinforcement, using treats and rewards to encourage the desired behavior, to more complex training
feeding it
regimens
to a
designed
dog.
to teach the cats to approach specific targets or follow particular paths. But as anyone who's ever...
Oh, look at that cute cat with the glasses on. That's a smart cat. It reads books. What other kind of cute cat?
Looks like its owner. Looks like its owner.
owned a cat knows they are notoriously difficult to train. The CIA discovered this the hard way.
If you own a cat, how well can you really direct a cat to do an espionage operation? Probably not very.
Despite their best efforts, the cats often ignored the instructions they were given. They would wander off, become distracted by a passing bird or a flickering shadow, or simply decide they had better things to do. This unpredictability was a major hurdle, and it led to many setbacks in the project.
Oh, did you see that cat was looking at the where do we go?
Bird or a flickering shadow, or simply decide they had better things to do.
Look at this cat's over here on Twitter trolling people.
Watching the stream talking about Matt Barr.
Yeah.
Hey, he's doing
Hey,
good.
student
He's
of
a
God,
member-
you want
this-
to come on this stream? and
that's how
learn
they're
about
infil-
conspiracy theories.
That's how they're infiltrating the ARA.
The cats?
Yeah, the cats. They've sewed transmitters into them and set them onto the board.
Well, at least it's not dogs. No one thought that was funny, huh?
No, no one did. Sorry.
Unpredictability was a major hurdle, and it led to many setbacks in the project. To give you an idea of how challenging this was, consider this. Even getting a cat to consistently walk in a straight line or approach a specific location was a monumental task.
Keep the pole low at first, and it's okay if your cat walks over it for now.
The cat's natural instincts, hunting, exploring, and sometimes just lounging around, were at odds with the precise, controlled behavior needed for espionage.
What a hideous cat.
Every time a cat decided to chase a mouse instead of following his training, it was back to the drawing board for the CIA. After months of preparation, the CIA was ready to put its feline agents to the test. The target? Soviet Embassy in Washington, D.C., a high-value target brimming with sensitive conversations that the CIA was eager to eavesdrop on. The plan.
Now, I see what I don't understand is in the beginning of the video, they said it was somebody in the Far East.
Well, they aren't giving away all of it.
Because now you're saying it's Washington, D.C.
Well, I mean, I'm assuming maybe it would be in an embassy.
Yeah.
And was simple.
Not that
Release
we
the
would
cat
ever
near
spy
the
on
embassy
embassies.
and
I
let it
mean,
do
that
its
would be
thing.
wrong.
Sneaking into the ground.
Yeah, see?
I don't know.
He just said that.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I'll go back a second. But they, I know they did stuff where they were implanting things in like when they were building embassies. They were trying to hide shit in the embassies. I know that.
Yeah, hide them in gifts all the time.
Yeah.
That's always how it happens.
Conversations.
I've got actual footage
that
from the
CIA
cat.
was eager to eavesdrop on.
I'm going to pull that up in a second.
The plan was simple. Release the cat near the embassy and let it do its thing, sneaking into the grounds and picking up valuable intelligence. But the reality was anything but simple. The cat, oblivious to the importance of its mission, was released near the embassy. For a moment, everything seemed to be going according to plan.
Terrified.
The cat moved towards the embassy. The CIA team.
Back it
held
up,
their
back it up.
Wait. See this cat right here? This cat's actually at Rekida's house.
The cat before it is unfortunately a victim of secondhand smoke at Matt Barr's house.
Near the embassy. For a moment.
That one right there.
Yeah.
My God, it's full of stars.
Everything seemed to be going according to plan. Cat moved towards the embassy. The CIA team held their breath. And then disaster struck.
In fact, the equipment was taken out of the cat. The cat again resewn for the second time and lived a long and happy life afterward.
No, they just killed it.
The cat was then put on a test, sent across the street to eavesdrop on a conversation, being monitored by a van loaded with equipment. And as this poor little monstrosity waddled across the street, a taxi cab came down and ran it over.
The mission, months in the making, was over before it had even begun. This catastrophic failure highlighted the risks and unpredictability.
Not catastrophic
of using
failure, get
animals
it?
It was a harsh lesson for the CIA team who had to face the facts that despite all their planning, they couldn't control the most important variable, the cat's behavior. The first mission was a complete failure, and it forced the team to reconsider the entire project. The failure of the first mission was a pivotal moment for Operation Acoustic Kitty. It brought into sharp focus the challenges and limitations of using animals for espionage. The CIA's internal reviews following this disaster were thorough, and the conclusions were clear. While the idea of using cats as spies was innovative, it was also impractical and fraught with ethical concerns.
I don't know. Is it really unethical to use pussy to get information? Have people been doing that for centuries?
The oldest trick in the book.
One of the key lessons learned was even the most advanced technology couldn't overcome the inherent unpredictability of using living creatures for such a mission.
The main reason for poor training of cats is their natural desire for solitude. Cats don't need a pack. For generations, they've been used to doing everything on their own.
The project had pushed the boundaries of what was possible, but it also highlighted the limits of innovation.
They spent so much time asking if they can.
Are the best.
And
In
no
this
time
case, that meant
asking
not relying
if
on a
they
creature
should.
as independent as a cat to carry out a mission of such importance. Then there were the ethical considerations. The use of animals in such a manner raised significant moral questions. Was it right to subject a living creature to surgery and training for the purpose of espionage? Potential benefits justify the harm that might come to
Better
these
than them
animals.
shoving it up the cat's
These
ass.
questions were debated within the CIA, and ultimately they played a role in the decision to terminate the project.
So it was $25 million down the drain. $25 million was a lot of money then.
Finally, the CIA had to consider the practical aspects. Even if the ethical concerns could be set aside, the simple fact was that the cats weren't reliable. Their behavior is too unpredictable, and the risk of failure, whether due to a distraction, a sudden change of
scorpion?
heart by the cat, or an unforeseen accident, was too high. Faced with these realities, the CIA made the
Not all
difficult decision.
scorpions are poisonous.
Well, that cat.
Don't matter.
You know, it's like the story of the frog and the scorpion is actually the story of the cat and the scorpion. The cat actually eats the scorpion.
It doesn't matter if it's poisonous; they still sting.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones here are like super small.
Yeah, those are the worst. Those are worse, actually. Those hurt a lot more.
Shut down.
Like I
on
just
Operation
on them and never even notice it.
Acoustic Kitty. It was an acknowledgement that some ideas, no matter
Nicholas
how
has a
creative,
superpower.
are just not meant to be.
Let's just wear boots or shoes or something.
For years, Operation Acoustic Kitty remained
Us
one of the
yokels,
CIA's
we
many
don't do that
secrets
high
hidden away in
fancy
classified
boot wearing.
documents. It wasn't until the 2000s, decades after the project had been terminated, that the public finally learned about the strange chapter in Cold War history.
Aimed to turn a fur ball into a feline, James Bond, by, quote, implanting a microphone in her ear canal and a small radio transmitter at the base of her skull. I did this to my aunt once.
Declassification of documents related to the project.
That was a good show, Red Eye. Man, that thing was good. You used to get some real funny people on that show making jokes. That's actually the first time I saw Gavin McInnes was on that show.
I bet it didn't end the way it did when he was on Friday Night Tights.
No. No.
Revealed the full extent of the CIA's efforts and the absurdity of some of those efforts. Reaction from the public and the media was a mix of disbelief, amusement, and criticism. The idea that the CIA had seriously considered using cats as spies seemed almost too ridiculous to be true.
But the CIA quickly learned that cats aren't really interested in espionage.
Operation Acoustic Kitty was a fascinating yet ultimately unsuccessful attempt to use cats for espionage. Despite its failure, the project left a lasting mark on the world of intelligence and serves as a quirky reminder of the CIA's willingness to think outside the box, even if that box was filled with unpredictable, furry creatures. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the CIA's most unusual projects, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange stories from history. Let us know in the comments what other bizarre
No, sir,
intelligence
I didn't like
projects you would like to hear about. And did you know that the U.S. government planned false flag operations in order to justify invading Cuba? Learn more about Operation Northwoods by clicking on this video.
It has been almost one.
All right, yeah, that's
Get the
from
autoplay, John.
Yeah, it's the autoplay. That's from a channel called Proven Conspiracies by Eric Hunley. He's also has a channel called America's Untold Stories that he goes over a lot of stuff with this guy Gruber, and he's a great follow, great channel. I would tell everyone that watching to go subscribe to both of those channels. It's a great guy, really cool. So
They do a lot of videos about cats.
no, not about cats. What's this?
Thought we were talking about cats.
This is actual footage of the from the cat, I believe. Doing some espionage of its own.
Why is this mind blowing to somebody? Like it says in the video.
Nah, we've got tech now that you can actually have a camera that would record this. They would have killed to been able to do this back then. This would have solved all their problems. No surgery necessary, just a cat collar. Look at the tuft of hair it's got hanging from its mouth. It did not like that other cat being there.
Where's the camera?
It's on the collar on the cat.
Oh, okay.
So your view is right under its chin.
Does this thing ever stop running?
It's going to maybe when it finally catches that other cat. So yeah, see, it's a camera like this.
I have an outdoor cat. She's got a lot of like bite marks on her all the time. She was a feral cat, and we took in a long time ago.
Red Scorpion talking about the guests on Red Eye.
Yeah, he's good. Okay, so next I think we could get into some growing Earth. The expanding.
Oh
Earth.
no. No.
Okay, then we
No, we can. I just one of these days, like while he's not here, how do we get him to understand that the moon does rotate, but it rotates at the same speed?
I tried to do it. I had a thing where they actually had a time lapse,
a visual model,
showing
a visual
it turn.
model that if it doesn't turn, the thing I can't get is that, like I said, if you take a basketball and you take a baseball, and you draw an X on the baseball, and you wrote and you just for yourself model the thing not spinning but rotated around the basketball, you wouldn't see the same part of the baseball the whole time. Half the time, the X would be opposite you. I'm sorry. No, I don't. The expanding Earth. What? I don't understand these.
Okay, you ever blown up a balloon before?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You expand it, and it expanded.
This is for you, Dan Blackroyd. This is for you. So
That's right, Eastwind. That was a badass cat protecting its.
It's like areas.
Sorry.
It's yeah. I mean, what was that? Like it had a certain area that.
Tell you about the see, as you get older and you live a sedentary life, you can understand the expanding Earth more and more.
Right.
We come to the Earth, which, well, grew to get here, the way it is now. Here is our world, our planet Earth, floating in space.
Didn't we watch
we will
this
be going
already, Jim?
backward in time. Imperfect.
Here comes Ric Flair.
But done in a
Ric Flair is coming to defend the NWA World Heavyweight Champion with the 2001 A Space Odyssey music in the background.
very disciplined manner. Please notice there is no subduction, no rotation of tectonic plates, no twisting, no form fitting, no altering shapes or sizes. It would be impossible. Impossible.
Of course
for these
not. You're
continental
doing a
plates to fit
3D
together
model.
perfectly without this being true, and yet the upper tectonic plates.
I can plainly
You were
see
serious
the
about that?
polygons. I can plainly see the stretching of polygons here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. The first time I had watched it, I noticed how they were morphing stuff a little.
Yeah, it's you know, the only thing that kind of looked like wow, that makes some sense is how the Great Lakes were formed, as opposed to glaciers, because it kind of does look like it was ripped apart.
But how does that require the Earth to have expanded?
It doesn't.
Not a plate to have moved.
Yeah, the plates might have moved. Something could have been a giant earthquake or something. I don't know.
Wade
fit
Bono.
together perfectly on a much smaller planet. Yes, there's been some erosion, landslides, blah, blah, but overall, this activity is insignificant. There is a kind of concern.
My problem with this.
Look at that Aggie. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the famous comic artist Neil Adams, the Batman guy. But where's the water? They say, oh, it was in the earth, but where in the earth? The amount of water that's on the
Underground.
surface of the earth.
Underground. What do you think makes it expand? It's the water.
Well, then the water's coming out. Now it's on the
Yes.
surface. So why is it making
Correct.
it? So the water's making it expand.
Yes.
To come out.
Yes.
Oh, so I know what it is. The water's
You ever-
boiling.
okay, you ever
wait,
filled
wait.
up
Well, no, the water's boiling, and the pressure makes the earth expand, and then it bursts and comes out onto the surface. It's geysers.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, we figured it out. Okay, well, we don't have to watch this anymore. We figured it out.
Conspiracy of silence among certain scientists. They know but are not telling you that the upper tectonic plates of Earth also join in the Pacific. Not partially. They join totally. You are asked to believe that the continents swim or drift about willy-nilly, bumping and crashing as if they were on a greased skillet. This is not true. The simple truth is apparently too upsetting to too many apple carts. We're now going forward in time to show how the actual growth of the Earth took place.
It's my
Imperfect as the
favorite.
details.
It's
but
my
the
favorite.
overall is-
You can see the
let's
shapes
just
changing. You know, you
I
can
know.
see the
It's
shapes
my
changing.
favorite. It's my favorite argument when somebody has one of these insane, and I'm just gonna say the expanding Earth theory is insane. Ideas or conspiracies that benefit no one, but if someone provides science that proves why I'm wrong about this crazy thought I have, it would just be too life shattering for them to accept my crazy thought. It would end the world. No, maybe you're just
Never heard of-
wrong, dude.
You've never heard of Big Sphere before?
I'm
There's a lot of
unfamiliar
money
with
in
Big
there.
Sphere. There
No, it's
is
big- you're thinking of
the
Big
entire
Globe.
Big Globe. Yeah, Big Globe.
No, not Big Globe. That's a company.
How many?
I'm talking about Big.
How many? Globe. I mean, how many classrooms are there in the world? There's got to be at least one globe in every one of them. That's probably where they put the cameras.
There's a lot of money on the line in Big Globe.
Well, I mean, when I've never seen one of those fancy we've got to look like we're highfalutin. Where do we hide the bar? We've got to have the globe that opens up, and that's what you put in your study. So.
But see, if they got on board with if Big Globe got on board with expanding Earth, they could sell a lot more globes, because then they could start out with, here's the globe, how it's.
You'd have to get a new globe every year.
Yeah, because it's expanding more.
But they couldn't do that as easy when all this started. So, I mean, that's modern technology. And maybe the truth will come out and they're able to adapt. But, I mean, they couldn't do that before.
Nailed. Antarctica, as you see, has become subtropical. Africa, on a smaller globe, moved way downward under the globe. In fact, for hundreds of millions of years, the bottom of Africa was the South Pole. South America's tail goes under and wraps around the bottom of Africa. Then, incredibly, it joins coast with Antarctica. 65 million years ago and more, these continents were joined, and marsupials like the duck-billed platypus roamed from Australia, Antarctica, and across southern South America and up
Well, see,
into
right
Africa.
there,
The
that
platypus-
disproves his entire theory. He just implied that Australia is a real place.
Well, that, and he claimed that there was all these different. I don't know. Like, why wouldn't they have never found any fossils for these animals in these other places then?
I don't know. Well, the fossils are all fake too. You know that one.
Well, I always wondered, like, how do they know how those bones go together if they don't know what you know what I mean? Like, they just find this.
Well,
bone
they found that they've been quite wrong on some of them. Look at the changes in the T-Rex just in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs roamed all over this world on the upper tectonic plate because there were no oceans, just shallow seas. Here today, Antarctica is frozen over.
That's
and
why all these
Australia and its
amphibians and
surrounding
reptiles
islands are the
were
Yeah.
roaming. because they hate water. They don't need to be around it at all.
Home of marsupials. Do you see how broadly the Pacific is opening compared to the Atlantic? This is exactly why the knee-jerk Pangea theory exists. The Pacific spread is too difficult to easily visualize because it's so big. The Atlantic spread is so obvious that a child would recognize it, but they are the same.
Does he explain where Atlantis was?
No, there's too much writing on that.
Check this map out. The Navy and others took core samples to find the ages of the sea bottom. Lo and behold, no part of the undersea was found to be much older than 70 million years old. Does that shock you? It should. It shocked the scientists. Where do they get ancient fish fossils from? From the land, like in Mississippi and Utah and France and China. Most of the undersea wasn't there 70 or 80 million years ago.
Okay, well, if they found fish fossils on the land, which he's saying was always land, where the fuck were the fish? If the land had water at some point.
I tried to steel man this when we discussed it before, and I can't wrap my head. I cannot get my head that far up my own ass.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
I can show my head up my own ass.
I can see that in your picture.
The measurements of the core samples give the age of the sea floor. Newest, 10 million or so, is red. As we go back in time, we go backward in our rainbow, orange, yellow, green, blue, okay? So we bury the new sea floor back to the fault lines as dictated by color or age. 10 million years back, these are the ages of the seafloor as measured by science, and they're
They should have never gave this man 3D Max.
20 million. I'm not making this information up.
No, he's creating it with a computer program.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm referring to the program I think he used
That's
to
what I'm saying.
use
Yeah,
to create it.
he's like, I'm not making it up. No, it's just he's modeling and creating it. I got to learn how to do this. I'm going to come up with my own theory of the shrinking Earth. Maybe it'll be.
Play his video in reverse.
Yeah, just play his video backwards. Oh my God, look at there, it's shrinking.
Map comes from the scientific community. 30 million. You can
see how that's, the map comes from the scientific community. What the fuck does that mean exactly?
Means all the people he's saying that are lying about everything. That's where he got all his data from.
He got it from the cops in Minnesota? Because we know they lie about everything.
can find the same map in many places on the internet. It's common knowledge. 40. The ocean bottom is from 1 year to 180 million years old. 50. 70% of it is no older than 60 million years old. 60. The upper plate, the continents, are as old as 2 billion years old and more. 70. 10 to 20 times as old as the undersea plates. The undersea plate is new and spreading at the rift.
You're gonna get hit by
Why
Disney
does the
for this
scientific
music.
community desperately cling to and promote the idea that the ocean...
I don't think we got hit last time.
I know. I'm just saying he's ripping off music from.
Yeah, I don't think we got hit
from
last. We got hit
Disney.
out, I don't know. I don't think we got hit last.
Disney doesn't want to be associated with this.
bottom is sliding under the continents and into a magma which is twice as dense as solid granite. a totally unsupportable and scientifically unsound idea? They have to. Or else they'd have to observe and admit that the Earth is growing. And that, viewers, is a very big deal. That would change everything in science, from the smallest particle to the whole universe. 100 years of scientific theory out the window. That's a lot to give up. It's important to remember that science and the universe should and must be easier to understand as we go back in the universe's evolution. This is an undersea map. As a kind of test for ourselves, we deemed it important to show that not only the upper plate had to fit properly together, but the undersea had to spread in a logical, reasonable pattern that we could see and understand as rational humans. Do you see those lines in the undersea which, beyond information, show direction? The direction of movement apart and away from the rifts. In fact, it's like a movement diagram, isn't it? We're moving now. Let me point out that the newer undersea near the rifts is smoother and more regular than the old.
Hold on a second, 'cause something just came up. I gotta.
What just came up?
Dude.
What news have we missed, Jim?
A gang of Venezuelans, 32 of them, just took over an apartment building in Chicago.
Oh yeah, that happened a few days ago.
Oh, in Chicago.
No, that was Colorado. This is Chicago.
Right. This is new.
Yeah, this is the 3rd district. Watch.
Unit 10-3, I'm Citywide, person with a gun, 6124 South King Drive. Callers says 32 Venezuelans are trespassing the building, showing guns in the courtyard, and they have motorcycles in the courtyard as well. All stairwells are filled. Nothing further, zone clear.
Hey, I'm sorry, you headed over to the shot spotter or to the 6124 in King for the migrants?
On King Drive.
Alright, 10-4. There's another available unit to arrive at 310. We had multiple calls. First with the gun, 6124 South King. Also came over to disturbance, large gathering. Said to be 32 Venezuelans trespassing in the building property, showing guns in the courtyard. They have motorcycles in the courtway, all stairwells filled. And nothing further.
Wow. Yeah.
This is what, an hour ago?
Yeah. A group. Yeah. 9:30. It's at Chicago time. 9:30. 10. Yeah, an hour ago.
So has the news been able to get their story straight and say that it's and explain how it didn't happen?
I think the thing actually happened yesterday.
In Chicago?
No,
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 it's
in
tonight.
Colorado.
It's Colorado's been going on
No,
for a
yeah.
while, but no.
Colorado's been going on for a while, but
Yeah, this is Chicago now. And 62nd and King Drive is not the best neighborhood. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't have been there
in a
at
black
night.
neighborhood. I wouldn't. That's
well,
fucking war.
there isn't such
No,
a thing
that's-
as a good neighborhood in Chicago anymore.
No, there is. There still is.
Nah, come on now.
There's still where all the cops live.
It's ready for the John Carpenter treatment. Just wall it off. Nothing of value will be lost.
No, there's still a couple areas that are mainly cops and firemen that are still decent because that's all that lives there are cops.
Well,
and firemen.
they're welcome. They're welcome to leave.
No, they can't. They can't leave because that you have to live inside the city to work for the city.
Oh, you're missing my point.
Oh yeah. Oh wow, we got some Aaron Impulse stuff going on too. I might have to look.
Oh
at that.
no,
You don't like Aaron?
no, I don't like Aaron. But what is going on now?
Let's see. What's this?
Has his 15 minutes expired yet?
Oh, I don't know. This is too long. I ain't looking at that. Never mind.
You can't give him that much attention.
Older land further away from the rifts. Here in the Atlantic, the rift goes right up the middle. Half of the Earth's growth has happened since the extinction of dinosaurs. This means that the Earth is accelerating in its growth. In the last 65 million years, Earth nearly doubled in size. The last redoubling took 600 million years, at least. We're continuing all the indicated undersea
It took me like
directions,
30 years to do
following
that.
A blueprint. The Earth guides us. And now the land masses will come together perfectly.
Like a woman's butt.
As we now go forward in time from 185 million years ago, please notice there is no subduction, no raising and lowering of land masses. There can't be. It's hell in the form of magma down there. Local raising and lowering, yes, but not on a massive basis. It can't happen. There's no turning, rotating of land masses. The land masses sit in their individual plates and don't move. The rifts open, that's all. For examination, I'm going to run a few vignettes of each area of Earth that you have a right to be curious about. The North Pole. Man, I love this map so much. There was a piece in the recent National Geo. It shows that the trees in Asia and North America were exactly the same trees. Well, this is why. The land was together when the trees evolved.
Yeah, but how does that not... Hold on. Pause
That
it.
also exists in the current models, yes.
Yeah, the current model, exactly. You don't have to have this craziness to for that to exist. Let's just discount that and pretend.
Like the whole theory behind how humans got to America is over that Bering Strait. That those two land masses that they're showing really close together and morphing around each other.
This is a lot of morphing from the early 2000s.
So it looks like Biden decided to go.
Take a shit.
No, he went and
Pissed on the floor.
Got hairy legs. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
yeah, he decided to go try to help Kamala Harris.
By the way, remember all the talk. Biden got elected. He's going to do a planned economy. We're going to collapse.
My
and there's
God,
gonna
he
be all
looks
this
old
caving
as
in.
shit now.
Interest rates are going to go through the ceiling. Come on, man. By the way,
That's exactly what happened.
What the fuck are you talking about? It kind of happened.
Oh man, he doesn't know.
He said,
That
"Oh yeah,
motherfucker hasn't.
interest rates are going to go."
That motherfucker ain't set foot in a grocery store to buy his own groceries since the 1970s. So he don't know what he's talking about.
I don't get it. I don't know, man.
Just glad
The
that
South Pole.
I'll give the one good thing is that Jimmy Carter lived long enough to no longer be the worst president we ever had.
I never thought Jimmy Carter was the worst president we ever had.
I did, but you're from Chicago.
Well, I mean, worst president in my life for sure, but not anymore either. Though I mean, Biden is definitely worse than that. But I mean, there was
Does
other
Biden
presidents
really
that
count?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, since he wasn't president, former Vice President Biden.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't care.
that Biden's-
I will never believe he won. I just
Oh no,
I don't care what
81 million people did not vote for that man.
There's no fucking way he got more votes than Obama. No fucking way. Just didn't happen.
The oceans have absolutely nothing to do with tectonic spreading, except that they cool the thickening mantle. Tectonic spreading, even according to the most conservative scientists, has created 2/3 of the Earth's surface in the last 200 million years. And therefore, the same must be true on all planets, including Mars. Must. and we can see the younger spreads on Mars just as on Earth. But there is, just as clearly, no subduction on Mars. It can't be both ways. You either have spreading and subduction, or you have only spreading, and you must have spreading. Or you can continue to ignore the facts and say, as the ancients said, that the Earth is unique and singular in the universe, and that we are the center, and the universe rotates around the Earth. How Earth's...
All right, before we get into this, there is this other thing I want to show you. This is a chart showing the comparison between in time between the 1970s, like you see the red line is the 1970s, and blue line is the current times. So tracking.
What are we tracking here, though? I realize the dates. I can't make out what we're. What is it? What is this a graph of?
Well, this is a graph of interest rates.
Oh, okay, okay. That's why I was asking. When I just could see the times and the graph, but I couldn't make out the text
tracking
there.
the interest rates and see what happened to the economy. So it's tracking exactly the same as it did in the 70s. Then look at right as the 70s were coming down.
Good old,
the 70s.
just
and they
good
cut
old
the rates, and then it went up 14%. So it's going to do the same fucking thing.
Just like George Lucas says, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. Are you ready for November?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to vote because I vote all the time because.
Is it gonna matter? It doesn't matter what the outcome is. It doesn't matter what the outcome is. If they try and cheat again, and if they win, if they lose, and when I say they, it's either side. The other side ain't gonna take it.
Well,
we're
I don't know. Honestly,
they're not. Nobody's gonna accept it.
Nobody's gonna accept the results, and some of these people on both sides, I don't think they're any different.
Scroll down.
Which one?
Keep going. I'll tell you. Keep going. That one right there. Do you see what this is?
Not titties.
No, that.
Molten thermite? Oh, man.
I saw that earlier today. It's terrifying.
What the?
It's a drone. Drones are cheap. So who cares if the drones?
But isn't this a violation of the Geneva Convention? That's why we can't use can't use Willie Pete anymore because of this. It's the same thing. Or napalm.
That's worse. Yeah, right.
Worse.
Yeah, I know. It's worse. Thermite, dude.
How far is it spreading?
Dude, you'll see here. Yeah, they didn't. They just let that was the lithium battery blowing up. Good Lord.
Dude, just rain thermite down. That'd be more like a what you would do right before you're like if you're on top of a bunker or something. And you
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
The other guys are in that are well that's where the line was, so it's terrifying, dude.
Follow that up with some missiles. That'd be no one surviving.
No one wants
to cut into it.
A lot of these people they go, oh well, the Russians are bad and all this and that and so whatever. But
it ain't nobody.
No, there's no
bunch of conscripts on both.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of conscripts on both sides fighting a rich man's war.
Another thing that's, if you push the Russians to a point where they feel they have no choice, they have the most nuclear weapons of anybody in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They do. That's just the facts.
Well, no, I think mutually assured destruction is an actual deterrent. Luckily,
well, not locally. There's nobody. If they nuke Ukraine, what the fuck? Who's going to do something?
They're going to feel the effects of it.
Well,
nuclear winter and all that shit. Yeah,
they wouldn't be that bad. No, they would just have to hit a couple spots.
Yeah, no, you don't want to be downwind of a fucking nuclear explosion.
whatever. You know, they had Chernobyl. They're still fine.
No one lives there.
That's fine, dude. You're making it. You're fucking just being a.
Yeah, but it's coming back, dude. Remember, that was we weren't supposed to live. None of that was ever supposed to be, inhabitable in our lifetimes. It was the 80s really overplayed.
Still not healthy. I mean, well, one of the things you do. I mean, if it's
Look at Fukushima.
You want to let it get away for a while. Yeah, Fukushima went into the fucking ocean, which dilutes it, obviously.
But what I'm saying is that the this will be uninhabitable for 100,000 years. The stuff they used to say.
Well, yeah, that's obviously
they overplayed that hand. 20 years is a little different. But if we did adopt more nuclear power, even though it's much safer now than the stuff built in the 70s, and we've proven that was actually pretty safe. Then there'd be a lot of free energy around, and we wouldn't have all that control and all these unnecessary wars for oil. So.
I mean, just to say, I think we'd be having unnecessary wars over lithium and other rare earth materials that are used for whatever replaces oil.
Storing energy would not be as important if energy was abundantly available.
Oh, you know what we forgot to do?
What did we forget to do? Labor.
We didn't say our prayer today.
Oh,
Dear Lord,
prayer?
baby
I don't know your prayer.
Or as our brothers to the south call you, Jesus, we thank you so much for this bountiful harvest of Domino's, KFC, and the always delicious Taco Bell.
Yes.
I just want to take time to say thank you for my family, my two beautiful, handsome, striking sons, Walker and Texas Ranger, or TR, as we call him. And, of course, my red-hot smoking wife, Carly, who's a stone-cold fox.
Yeah.
Who, if you were to rate her ass on 100, it would easily be a 94.
So familiar to us and yet so mysterious.
He put some echo in his sound this time to make it sound more.
Oh, wait, no, the moon's growing too now?
Yes, the moon is growing too. This is how you could prove it. The moon is growing.
No.
No?
No, it's not.
Maybe.
Man, you just gotta expand your mind, man.
I have not taken enough drugs, nor will I ever.
Problem, man.
What if DOG really spelled cat?
Yeah. Dude, that is wild, man. Or what if our entire universe is just a tiny speck of dirt under the nail of a giant?
Actually, I sort of believe that kind of thing. I think everything is infinitely big and infinitely small.
Yeah. Because they keep finding more stuff that they thought the smallest thing, was like an atom, and now they're finding things that are smaller than atoms. Right?
I think our universe could be. Well, I don't know if you've ever seen like something that explains like multiple realities and stuff, like what the math sort of says about it all, and like how Big Bangs could potentially be happening. Is like all the different realities are a bunch of like little sheets, like flapping up against each other.
Okay, so is that considered loop theory or string theory?
Well, that's not literal. Well, string theory is like that the heart of an atom is a bunch of little strings vibrating. But that it's sort of like it would follow the same sort of principle. Because like light, for instance, it's like a particle and a wave at the same time.
Well, that's Huygens, right? If it depends on if you're looking at it, it acts differently, which is weird. If you're not looking at it, it acts like a particle, but if you're looking at it, it acts like a wave.
That's superpositioning. but it's a little different. But it's still the same principle. But Heidegger's uncertainty principle, that even the measure affects the measurements of.
What does
when you
that
get
have to
like
do
the
with
quantum
What
stuff.
What does that have to do with Schrodinger's cat?
Oh no, I think I just mixed a metaphor there.
We don't know.
Say-
We
We
never
were
will
watching
know.
about cats early. You won't know unless you open the box, because the cat could be both alive and dead
If you
at the same time.
if you open the box, you're murdering the cat.
Well,
That's
or the
that's
cat.
what I think about. No, that's
don't
what I
know.
think about Schrodinger's cat.
Maybe, or you could not even open the box, but you could smell the dead cat and know what's in there.
Yeah, that'd
'Cause
be
I think if a cat was
killer.
dead, you would. You know, that's the thing where there's a vial of poison that'll open at some random time in the box, so you can consider the cat to be alive or both alive and dead at the same time. You wouldn't know unless you opened the box.
What's in the box, man? What's in the box?
Down here near the
What's in
bottom,
the
we find what is
box?
clearly an impact crater, and probably an historically recent one. Look at this crater's immense splash trails. This splash trail travels across the entire face of the moon, about the distance from Florida to New York. This is so an impact crater. Up here is another easily identifiable impact crater, but one on Earth, well,
I don't know if that's easily identifiable. Like, this looks like an impact crater. This looks like an impact crater. This looks like an impact crater. I don't know what over here looks like an impact crater. It's too blurry.
what on the moon is this gigantic spread of flattened, slightly depressed land. We have a name for it. We call it Mare Serenitatis, the Sea of Serenity. Exactly what is this gigantic spread as big as Iceland? And what is this spread, bigger than Europe? We call it Mare Ibrim. What about this gigantic spread area, as big as the United States? We call it Oceanus Procellarum, the ocean of storms. Fully 1/3 of the moon's near-side surface consists of these gigantic spread areas. Let's examine them more closely. We're often told that these are impact craters. This certainly could not be so. An impact crater of this size would have blasted the moon apart, or at a minimum gouged gigantic chunks out of the moon. Look more closely at their size, at the lack of splash as with the true impact craters we saw moments ago. There is in fact no splash at all. Also notice that within these areas there is a significant lack of craterization. There is some, but compared to the common surface, the craterization is insignificant. These areas are newer, fresher areas, more recently made. In fact, it's as if some spreading force pushed the regular surface slowly outward, pushed the old surface aside, and bunched up these surfaces along the edges of the spread's rims. Look at this bunching up. Remind you of anything? Remember the geode? As the geode grows, its outer surface spreads in advancing rings, exposing a lower tectonic surface in the exact same way. On the moon, these bunched up.
Was he saying the moon is just a giant geode? Huh. I guess I'm all alone. All right. I don't know. I mean, I also heard the moon was hollow, so I don't know what that means exactly. And, but we'll find out.
Up areas of upper tectonic surface are the result of a growing tectonic undersurface, a spreading silicate rock surface, a new skin, fresh from the inside of the moon, growing like a crystal geode. According to this theory, this image is the moon about 400 million years ago. The mares exist only in their early primitive stages, much smaller. The mares will grow and expand as you watch. The spreads will grow and the moon grows up to this size. This is our present moon. For careful examination and study or scrutiny, we will go backward in time and watch the mares close down. Remember, we are reducing and enlarging only those gigantic spreads or mares. This has led to a significant and interesting problem. If we say these spreads or mares are eruptive growth from the inside of the moon, and we do, wouldn't the gravitational pull of the Earth exerted on the Earth's side of the moon cause most, if not all, of the growth to erupt toward the Earth? In fact, wouldn't that imply that these eruptive mirrors should not exist on the side of the moon which face...
Sorry, I had to step away for a moment. I was listening.
But so you, like he's saying that
It's
the
a
Earth
giant
is moving-
geode.
It's a giant geode that's growing.
I have no idea. How does the base on the moon survive?
Yeah, how does the Nazis are still got their base if it's growing? When they have a problem, and then the moon is hollow. I thought they said they hit it with the Saturn V rocket booster, and then it rung for hours because it was hollow. And it's got some kind of metal shell.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It sounds strange to me.
faces away from the Earth? This is what the common sense logic says, but let's see what reality says. In fact, as you can see, on this very detailed image, the far side of the moon has virtually no gigantic mares or spreads. Well, there's a suspicious candidate, but you can see it's smallish by comparison to the gigantic spreads on the Earth side of the moon. In fact, the tectonic spreads on the Earth side give the Earth side a totally different look than the far side. This cropped off
The
picture
Far
is
Side was a
Mars.
great comment.
I
Want
wasn't
to talk
able
about
to get
it?
the whole...
Oh, Far Side, sure. Yeah. Mars is growing too, he says.
Everything's growing. Eventually, it'll all just collide.
The sun is growing. I don't know. I could find some other conspiracies. Let's see.
Go into some political conspiracies.
Oh, that sounds good. Let's see here. Oh, I know what we could do. Wait, I got this one.
I've got one that's appropriate to if you want to talk about recent history. You know, the event on the 13th of July.
Sure. What, you got one?
I've got one. I'm going to go back to 1981, March 3rd. I think we might have discussed this before. Remember the UPI? Before everybody just started using the AP?
Wait, does this have to do with Hinckley?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I know about this. I know that it was very odd that Hinckley's. Andrew Campbell says that the moon is flat. That's why we only see one side of it.
Oh, that's right. That's why it doesn't rotate.
Scorpion says that thermite burns at 4,000 degrees. Human flesh vaporizes at 3,000 degrees. I don't think you need a missile chaser with a thermite shower. Well,
no, I don't
you
think
can
so.
He says Schrodinger's cat is about observation. It's still alive until you observe it and it's dead. I thought it was more of that you don't know if it's alive or dead.
If a
until you
cat
open the box.
dies in a box and nobody's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Does it still break a glass? Yeah, so I mean, everybody likes to focus on like the JFK conspiracy and the man on the grassy knoll and all that stuff, which is obviously in the news recently with old RFK Jr., Bobby the Op starting to joining the Trump campaign and all this. But I mean, why is it that every time one of these things happens, there's all this tie-in to high ups in the alphabet agency that was busy vandalizing cats?
It's odd
as
too
we
that
just
all
learned.
these aides and people that worked for
Mhm.
Bush and Cheney and Romney and McCain are all coming out against these people now. It's almost like they were all working for someone else the whole time.
People,
Well, I mean,
especially in that world, are all knives out all the time.
Well, I mean, you got good old Donna Bash as Kamala, since she hates.
I thought it was Dana.
Pronounced
Dana.
it is Dana. Dana's what she said. Dana Bash. You know who her husband works for, right?
He was a CIA agent, wasn't he?
Yeah. He's one of the 51. But I find it interesting that the vice president's news secretary said by telephone from Washington he knew nothing about the Hinckley Bush family connection. I mean, why would the news secretary know anything about the largest donor in Texas to the George W. Bush for Senate campaign? So the conspiracy theory here is they tried to trick us into thinking that Hinckley was doing this to impress Jodie Foster.
Oh yeah, and it was.
There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence whatsoever of that. They, if you've seen the movie Taxi Driver, they decided, well, this is about a guy trying to shoot we'll throw this into the news, you know.
What did the guy say? I always assumed that's because he had said it himself.
No, that came much later. I believe they fed him that, and then he started writing her from prison or from the mental institution. Yeah, I mean, this was just hey, this also ran in the news, by the way. The vice president who Reagan was forced to take on to avoid a split convention almost became president less than 90 days after he was elected and took office because the son of his largest donor for his Senate campaign decided to shoot the president on the same day that the other two sons involved in this were supposed to be having dinner together in Denver. You know, if we had the internet and independent reporting, you know, the independent journalism, I'm pretty sure people would freak out if something happened. Let's say the event that happened in Butler, right? We come to find out that Crick's brother was supposed to be having dinner with Kamala Harris's daughter that afternoon. You know, we wouldn't stop talking about it for months, and this was just like a blurb in papers across the country, like it also ran a few days later. You know, that unless you read everything cover to cover, most people probably missed. You know, and what was the CIA's official operational code name for the Bay of Pigs invasion?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Jim, I think Jim might know it. He's trying. I'm gonna give him a moment. Operation Zapata.
Oh yeah, shoes.
Well, the Zapata oil was the Bush, George Bush's oil company in Texas, and they used his oil rigs in the Gulf of Mexico as staging grounds for the Bay of Pigs invasion.
George H.W. Bush was the head of the CIA.
H-Dub.
Yeah, H-Dub.
No, that came later. That came later because remember the Bay of Pigs, right? It's 72.
Yeah.
And when he was in his confirmation hearings, he was asked, you know, to become the CIA director. He was explicitly asked, we don't want somebody who's from within the CIA to be the director because you're conducting oversight. So, you know, have you ever worked with the CIA before? And he explicitly answered no. I had no dealings with them whatsoever.
Yeah, and he lied.
He lied.
Yeah, but it depends upon if he served in such a way that would be illegal for him to disclose that, then he did the right thing.
He was testifying under oath to the Senate in his confirmation hearing.
Exactly.
What's weird too is, and then a year later,
He doesn't. National security overrides testimony to the Congress.
A year or
in
so
their
later,
eyes, at the very
the
least.
CIA under George H.W. Bush was instrumental in pulling a coup on Richard Nixon,
right,
by framing him for Watergate.
Mm-hmm.
it's
How
kind of weird
interesting.
that it comes, that the CIA kind of tried to do the same thing to Trump with the whole Russiagate thing with the FBI and all that.
Well, it led to lots of changes in government. We end up with when they install HW, he's replaced with who? Clinton. What's Clinton's connection? He was the governor
Of
Mena, Arkansas.
And it was responsible
Air
for all the
America.
drugs, Air America. So it's another CIA guy. That's what I'm saying. It's all
Another CIA.
CIA people.
Yeah.
And then after him is who? George W. Bush, who clearly has ties to the CIA because of his father and all the other stuff. And then Barack Obama, who has a strange history that a lot of people don't want to recognize, that his mother had deep ties to the CIA.
It's almost like there was a group that came about post World War II and took over the nation, and they can do pretty much whatever they want. Well, look at who, if they had blocked Trump from running, who was one of the people that was if this is before the primary, there's a lot of talk of if Trump's not allowed to run, who's going to be running for president on the Republican side. And there's a certain guy who's lost a bunch of weight recently named Pompeo, whose name was in that.
Yeah, I don't like him.
I don't trust him, dude. So yeah, I don't trust anybody that's touched the CIA at all. So we're probably on a list now. Oh wait, we already were. I've killed the chat, so we can move. No, I have. I'm telling you that they're more interested in the flat moon.
Maybe. But here, I wanted to show this real quick. This is Ripperverse Goalpost, which I don't know if you guys know that Ripperverse Goalpost guy is. Oh shit! Wrong thing. This is Ripperverse Goalpost, and he says weirdos still mad that new readers got to catch up on Ripperverse books at a great price. If your primary focus is on the secondary market, then maybe you aren't a real comic book reader. There's only
real, huh?
That say real like that.
Yeah.
Because Ripperverse Goalpost is chief detractor. He's the best among us. He really is.
Well, no, sometimes he blocks. The faggot blocks me.
But is it possible that Ripperverse Goalpost is actually Shane or Wodenshot?
No. They're far more productive with their time.
Because that's the only people I've ever seen put real like that.
Oh, he's definitely poking the bear there, but
yeah,
he drops hints.
I was on a stream with Shane last night.
Yeah, I saw you guys were on there, and then Dave hopped in. Y'all abandoned me. Didn't bring me along. I could have talked Shadow Walk with him for a while.
Oh, I should have sent you the link. Sorry. I said it to Dave. Yeah, because I just was popped on to say hi. I wanted to ask him a question about something. I can't even remember what it was, and then I was going to bed. So, what's this? Gaze. Who is it? Is that Mint?
Yes.
I didn't understand Did you guys see Eraserhead?
Yeah, it was so long ago.
You just always see it in the video.
It's one of it's one of those that you're supposed to pretend you like, so that everybody can think that you're.
I didn't get it.
Smarter than you are.
Clockwork Orange. I'm like, what?
Clockwork Orange is good. I can explain Clockwork Orange.
It's okay.
It's not that.
Clockwork Orange is great just because of the Mad Magazine parody of it.
Like it's actually.
If it didn't exist, I wouldn't have that. It is. It's a little too on the nose.
I never read the book myself, but one of my brothers did, and he loved it. Like he tried explaining like a lot of the weird stuff the guy did in the book. Like it was pretty cool. Like little things he slipped in. I think talking about something about numerology and stuff like that. Not like literally in the book, but just how he paced things out and stuff.
Hold on, there's something else going on. I might have to show for a second here. I guess Ethan got an email from somebody demanding a refund.
Oh well, darn.
Yeah.
Thank you,
know,
guys.
This was not rehearsed. One.
And they're saying,
Ethan, happy
Day
birthday.
to you. After all the years of being anti-woke, anti-cancel culture, and anti-communist, Evan shows his hand and plays into supporting them all. Not only is he a liberal pretending to be a conservative, he threw everyone out of his circle that wouldn't kiss the ring and refuses to advertise them as he is the leader of Comicsgate, whether he likes it or not. He does. He loves having his own personal cult of brain-dead fools fund his gambling and God knows what else. Evan is a fan of
Good
the
Lord.
Acolyte after years of covering Kathleen Kennedy. Do you understand that it's my birthday and this is the shit that I get? Like, I'll just
Happy
refund your,
birthday.
here's your $25 back. What the fuck is this?
that Evan guy sounds horrible.
Who the hell's Evan?
Let me keep reading this. Just like Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers when he loved The Last Jedi, he then deleted that review and put up the new one to ride the money wave of disenfranchised fans and customers looking for something new or people to talk about how awful it was. Funny enough, many of us found out that on Evan's Trashcast stream, he's now saying the criticism of Acolyte is stupid. Interestingly, so I never said that. Since teaming up with that puppet maker, he no longer believes there's a culture war ongoing.
Oh my god.
While saying he does with his paper-thin ego, a usual bullshit of lies, fibs, and deception. His full colors are now
Those are
revealed to
bullshit
us
of
to be a
lies.
six-colored
Is that like
rainbow,
a
just like
grouping
his
of lies?
Sodomite Brute book.
Well, I don't understand. Is that the same thing? That's like saying, it's bullshit.
Bullshit
fibs,
of lies.
Is this
lies,
JDA?
fibs.
This JDA? The JDA write this?
I don't know. It sounds like it. Somebody's writing like him.
Somebody has hated Ethan for a while. They're calling him Evan.
Yeah.
If what's left of his fans and followers can even come up
Sodomite
for air.
brute book.
What the hell?
I like
That is,
Badass. After sucking in all his belly button lint and gastrointestinal flatulence, if you don't see it by now, you deserve all his lies and mediocrity. Evan is no better than Eric July, Geeks and Gamers, Mandy, along with all the other freaks he brought in over the last 2 years. The inner circle cunts, the woke mind virus that infected all the franchises that brought us all together in the first place. I'll never back another campaign or buy something from this fruitcake, and I suggest y'all don't either. For all the white knights that dislike comments, dislike these nuts, you cancel culture, pay pig simps. You all sold your souls to the devil, not like whoever's left cares about that, though. Or your checkbooks, for that matter, since you handed over so much for some clout given to you by the fag father and minions for buying his overly expensive glossy toilet paper. Comicsgate is dead as it was intended to be a creative market for independent creators. Yeah, a lot of them suck, but Evan sucks even more as anyone he couldn't even sit cowgirl style was driven out and lied about. I don't understand. Now it's just a price gouging operation and drama sinkhole for him. His inner circle of cucks and chuckle fucks. Give me my refund so I never have to think about your twisted psychological manipulation and advertising gimmicks again. Y'all want a real show that talks about what goes on and why so many people are in the chat aren't around anymore? Tune into these guys. Anyone with an IQ over 60 would be able to piece it all together and break loose of this crap. I also wonder when Evan will start promoting pronouns like geeks and gamers to refer to himself as she or it. I don't even know what this means. Ought to be soon with how much he bitches. Ought to be soon with how much he bitches about people who do the same things he does and pretends to be something he's not. So sincerely, go fuck yourself, Ethan Van Sciver, you piece of ripe, rotten leftist trash. Damn, it's like
Happy birthday.
Oh, hold on a second.
How much work did
Someone was that took a lot of passion. That's a very passionate fan.
Yeah.
No
Signed
refund.
your mom.
The guys
No refunds.
Sorry,
Oh,
dude.
wow.
That's the way it goes.
Oh, that's funny.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, you guys for being here.
So this is a little different. This is about the coming apocalypse.
Wait, before we go into that, on the last topic, I put something in the private chat for you to bring up that I found hilarious. So I had a little interaction with JDA today.
Another faggot that blocks me on Twitter.
Well, what's hilarious is he tried to sick his audience on me, and I got one whole extra reply.
Okay. This is how people act when you say an opinion that one comic book is better than another, and one wonders why no one wants to be around that train wreck anymore.
Click on mine so you can see what I was replying to. I just wanted to poke the bear a little.
Good morning. Oh, Ms. Marvel is a better comic book than Cyberfront. Wait, I thought he was a right-wing Christian nationalist who's based. And he's over here championing Ms. Marvel. Doesn't it go against everything?
Yeah, he wants Christianity by force. Texas Taliban be installed. John Delarose. I just find it funny that he decided to sick his entire audience on me, and I got one whole reply.
I have no doubt John Delarose is a literal cross-dressing faggot.
Satan quoting scripture. Did you just call me Satan because I told a fellow believer that dragging down people as a career doesn't jive with his holier-than-thou attitude? John has single-handedly done more harm to the cause of Christianity than armies of atheists. If your faith hinges on John Delarose or any man, that's pathetic. Dude makes me sound like a legend. Well, in your own mind, John, a legend in your own mind.
Right.
Well, I make you sound like a hate-filled charlatan, which is quite accurate.
That was it, man. That was
That's
it.
good. I like that. And you act as if you're the sole arbiter of faith, John, while you spend your days seeking praise and glory for your ego.
I can't tell the difference between him and Patrick. What's his face? The tubby guy that Ethan was doing the series on.
How does he figure that his Hidden Emperor is the most successful graphic novel ever at $34,000? Oh, their most successful. Oh,
what's with
wow? He sold. He's how many backers? 450.
Yeah. Yeah.
How could he afford to go to print with that?
I don't know. I mean, 34 grand's not a lot to print a book and ship it. Unless, I don't know. Oh, shit.
What have you done? It's all too big.
All right. Damn. Oh, wrong one. So this is about the end of the world.
The solar system shift has recently claimed another planet. Many of you are asking which planet we should be watching next. As we look at the chart from our new book detailing the changes on Earth, the planets, and nearby stars, we're now firmly focused on our solar system with the ongoing shift. While tracking the various Earth changes, we must now keep a more watchful eye on the larger gas planets of the solar system as the effects of the galactic current sheet creep increasingly inward. Pluto's atmosphere was supposed to start slowly cooling and collapsing in 1989. Instead, it continued getting hotter and puffier. Its changing magnetism overruled.
But I thought Pluto wasn't a planet
upon
anymore.
Its major shift, the cooling and collapse of the atmosphere occurred, confirmed last year by incontrovertible means, with the unfathomable loss of 20% in only a couple years. After Neptune had an impossibility of atmospheric dynamics last year with the superstorm reversal, something that only makes sense in a total reversal of a key system dynamic, it just had its major collapse moment as a magnetic shift is the best way to explain a global cooling of unbelievable nature, with its magnetic connection to the sun being pounded by protons at the South Pole as the lone hotspot on the planet. These major atmospheric shifts and cooling specifically are the earmarks of a magnetic collapse and shift on a planet. We expect this as the galactic current sheet coming from the center overcomes our solar system more and more. Pluto is about here, by the way, in the direction of the galactic center from the inner system, and you can see Jupiter and Saturn, and Neptune is also in this general direction. Looking from above at the solar system diagram from JPL, we have the galactic center about up here, and so Pluto and Neptune should indeed take the center of the sheet first, its magnetic null and reversal point within the thicker sheet. But what's next? Is it Uranus as the next planet in, or is it off to the side enough and waiting with the rest of the solar system?
Stop it. Pause it. I discount everything this man says because he wanted to call it Uranus.
Are you supposed to call it Uranus?
We all did for years until people
I
thought
know,
it was
but
funny in the
funny,
90s.
They just call it Uranus instead of Uranus. You know,
No. They call it that. I don't. But he's still calling Pluto a planet, so I'm confused.
it's a planet. I don't believe that
It's a planetoid.
well, it's a planet.
Never forget.
I mean, they just kind of it has all the.
It's Schrodinger's planet.
Well, no, I mean because it's not. It's circling the sun on a orbit.
Like a drain.
So's every asteroid in the belt.
Yeah, but it's kind of like I don't know. Most asteroids aren't they on a highly elliptical orbit?
Well, many are, but the ones in the asteroid belt between here and Mars. I don't know. I all right. I'll give you planet on it. I just wanted to poke fun at the bear.
Well, it's got to be a planet.
Uranus.
Otherwise, then planet Narubu, planet X wouldn't be planet X. It would have to be planet 9 instead of planet 10. So that's why
Plan 9 from outer space.
You know, there's like they're almost positive that there's another planet that's on a hugely elliptical orbit around the
More
sun.
than one planet?
No, like there's one big planet, like a giant planet that's on like a real elliptical orbit that comes in every so often, and that's the planet that the Anunnaki live on. And they when it gets close, they come here and steal our gold.
Nokia.
Nokia phone.
Well, don't drop one of those. Even the Earth will ring for 30 minutes.
Inner planets move around enough to say that until at least one of the bigger ones goes in similar fashion, the focus does have to be out there. Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus. Every day, Uranus and Jupiter are racing around to the side, but Saturn is still stuck out there in that direction for another 5 to 10 years. The fact that the outer planets are now showing major cooling and collapse of thermal state is big. While we've seen changes on all the planets except Mercury, and on the sun and in interplanetary space, those were expected with the arrival of the thicker sheet over the last several decades. The final blow, causing the rapid shift like we saw on Pluto and Neptune, is the major moment that begins the zenith of the disaster. Unless maybe if you live on Earth, where it may be the dessert of that meal. Now that it's happened on Pluto and Neptune, a similarly unimaginable change on Uranus, Saturn, or Jupiter could be too much for the world to ignore. I can tell you from reading the comments that ever since the Neptune story broke, those professors and NOAA and NASA scientists focused on this ongoing event have been much more concerned than many of you are. They say I should tell you what I keep telling them. Yes, this is scary, but fear is only one possible reaction, a thief of time and focus, and of emotional and physical energy. Awareness, preparedness, and eyes open mentality is the appropriate alternative reaction. I'll see you in the morning for the daily update.
What kind of
Be safe,
preparedness are we going to have for something like this?
This is going to be the second half of a bold
Faraday
prediction,
cages
where
over
what you
everything.
notice and identify and forecast comes true beyond the ever-shrinking shadows of doubt. We have had several battles, most notably 2 with Harvard and a very big one with NASA. Those went our way, but the forecast of field of science against expectation is another matter. In June of 2021, just under a year ago, we rather boldly proclaimed and demonstrated that there was an upheaval in nova astronomy, that the models were too restrictive, that the recurrent and smaller ones didn't need binary stars, that they could be smaller than known solar flares from the sun, and we forecast that the discoveries would continue to push the boundaries of the expected, and that more and more of the science would push towards the eventual realization that the solar micronova is possible. Let's rewatch some key portions of that video, be reminded of how absurd the field of nova science has become, and then I'll show you what's happened since then. When you hear the word nova, most think of supernova, the violent endings of stars. Many don't know that some supernova leave behind a star, and sometimes more than one. Most don't know that the vast majority of nova events are not supernova, but smaller versions called cataclysmic variables, They're classified as either classical nova, dwarf nova, or rapidly recurrent nova, although all three are thought to be repeating on various timescales, from one in Andromeda that were currently novas every Earth
What about
year,
the Chevy Nova?
to some classical nova that are on millions of years recurrent scales. The scenario where one star feeds off another, accretes an atmospheric layer, and the interior pressure builds to nova, is said to occur for some kinds of supernova, and all classical nova, and all rapidly recurrent nova. But this paradigm has come crashing down so fast it's not even in the textbooks yet. Stars without a degenerate binary requiring tweaks to mechanisms. The one about sporadic accretion nova is exceptional because the implications are that short-term events could replace a binary star. The poor little star that wandered into a molecular cloud and exploded, all by itself, is an exceptional example. One of those short-term events,
what a
along
missed
with the other
opportunity.
so-called dark nova remnants discovered since that
Pause it
initial
for a
discovery.
second.
And then there were the single star.
He titled it "You Don't Know Nova," but he could have just called it "You Don't Nova" with a K. That would have been way catchier.
Well, you know.
Oh, so you think this guy's full of shit?
No, I don't, but I don't think it matters. When the sun decides to eat us, we're not getting away from it.
Well, he
On a long enough timeline. On a long enough timeline, you know, it all ends the same way.
Well, I mean, they think this is like a cycle that keeps repeating, just like everything else in the world. That the sun does weird shit every so often, and it does basically zaps us, and basically sends us back to the Stone Age, and it's happened over and over again. I don't know. Seems plausible.
I just don't think we're going to be able to do anything about it.
No, I don't think we'll be able to do anything about it either. I just find all this stuff fascinating. I don't know what I believe. I just thought it would be a catchier title. That's all I'm saying. Oh yeah, it should be
You should-
Don't Nova.
Nova, exactly.
Or
Way
you don't know.
catchier.
No, it would have been better if you don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that.
I'm interested in the classic Chevy Nova. So
I got
got some
another thing here.
people dropping in your chat saying hi.
Oh hey, hi, how you doing, everybody? Sorry, I'm new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm better guest than I am host. Let's see. We could do this. We could watch the Epic of Gilgamesh, Tablet 1.
Oh, this is 27 minutes long. We won't be done till 5 a.m. I'll have to go to work then.
No, we're only gonna go another round. Whatever. You guys gotta go. We can always cut it off. I was just
I'm just joking about the fact that it took us how long to get through a 27-minute video last night.
Oh, I don't know. What up, Rocky? How you doing? I was all ready to do a Justified stream tonight, and then I got a message from Dave that he had stuff to do with his wife, so he blew me off for his wife.
How dare he?
I know.
That's how you guys. That's going to lead to a breakup.
Yeah. We have this
Poor
planned
man.
every Monday night, and then he goes and just.
It's a special Monday. It's Labor Day. You were in labor today.
I know. I went through all. The
How'd it go
labors.
for you?
Well, I had twins. I dropped them off. I dropped them off.
Dropped them off at the pool.
Yeah, they kind of reminded me of the Cosby Kids.
Oh, good lord!
Disavow.
It's always room for pudding.
Yep. Oh god, pudding pops, man! You can't really find pudding pops. I haven't seen them in years in the store. Is it because of that
Buy
whole thing that
generic
they stopped
kind of
selling
thing.
them?
No idea.
They were pretty good. Jello pups. They call them Jello pudding pops, don't they?
Ancient Mesopotamia.
Jello.
Mesopotamia.
There's always room for yellow.
Why is the narrator angry at me?
He's not. Do you know who this is?
It's
know who the
Billy
fuck
Carson.
this is?
I know.
It's Billy Carson.
You know.
He's
Just talk about his delivery.
He's a very interesting cat, man. He believes.
I know.
I think he believes what he's saying. I just don't know if I believe what he's saying. You know, I want to believe that the Anunnaki are real, but fuck, I wish there was somebody better than him telling me they are. No.
I'm just saying he got one sentence out and I feel like I'm being lectured.
Has this guy got horns?
If you don't
It's early,
know,
early
that is
AirPods.
where- That's a location where Iraq, Iran, and all those Middle Eastern countries are located right now. That's where this epic originated. The literary history of Gilgamesh begins with the Sumerian poems about Gilgamesh, king of Uruk, dating from the 3rd dynasty of Ur. You know? So we know that there's a ziggurat of Ur as well, and that's a giant step.
The what?
The ziggurat.
Oh, I thought he said something else. What?
He didn't use the hard R.
Yeah, I was like, what is he saying?
He meant to say ziggurat.
I mean, what is this place here? They're saying this is some kind of, this is like an actual place that they uncovered it was buried.
Yes. Hey, I didn't make this. Look, there's a sign down there. You can read about it. Read about it.
Is this a build? Are these windows? Is this a building with windows, or is it just something?
Yeah, I believe it's a huge building. Those are staircases, and
Basically, it's like the Tower of Babel kind of thing.
But why? Okay,
So
I
they
see the
kind of
stairs.
placed it,
I see the
was
stairs
where the-
here. You see the
inspired
stairs
the
here?
stories of the
In the
Tower
middle?
of Babel.
Why does it look like there's stairs on the sides too?
Right,
that's
just
the
weapon.
safety railing. I believe those are actually two separate staircases.
Pyramid that exists right there in Iraq. As a matter of fact, there's a tunnel leading underneath the Ziggurat of Ur all the way to the Giza Plateau in Egypt, which is in.
What?
That'd be fucking impossible.
Wait,
One of those black Israelite motherfuckers.
I don't believe him.
how the fuck is there a tunnel going from Iraq to Giza Plateau? That's like 1,000 miles, ain't it?
Well, I'm pretty sure that that's not accurate.
I don't know. We're like 2 minutes.
Well,
in,
okay,
and
hold
don't
on.
believe
I
it
am.
already.
So they have that we were just looking at is a partially reconstructed facade, and the access staircase of the ziggurat. The actual remains of the Neo-Babylonian structure is the stuff at the top that was all rough and so it's only partially
So they didn't just unbury it; they just rebuilt it.
right. That's what it sounds like.
You gotta say that stuff. You know, you can't trick me.
This is from the 21st
So we have 12
century
tablets
BC.
here, okay, 12 amazing tablets of information.
The 21st century.
21st century BC, during the
so that's-
3rd
okay,
dynasty of Ur.
So that's
It's a
21
massive step pyramid, 210 feet, 10 feet in length, 148 feet in width, and 98 feet in height.
So like
The height is
4,000 years ago?
speculative, as only the foundations of the Sumerian ziggurat have survived. Started in, let's see, so they started building it 2050 to 2030 BC, and then was completed sometime between 2030 and 1980 BC. So
Cocaine's a hell of a
2,000
drug.
years, yeah, 4,000 years roughly.
That predate most texts that exist, especially the biblical text. We're going to start with tablet number 1. He who has seen everything, I will make known.
Now, does he actually read these things? Oh, you got something?
Yeah, he uses his peep stones. I just got some other pictures of what we were looking at, other angles.
Are those soldiers?
Yeah, that's in Iraq.
Oh, they're saying reconstructed stairs. So this is something that somebody built, right? With the
Well, as far as they were discovered in 1850. The remains consist of 3 layers solid mass of mud brick. I'm trying to find. Oh, okay.
what the fuck? My camera.
It's hacked into your camera, Dave or Jim.
I don't know why
Yeah,
it does
CIA
that. Why it
hacked
unlocked
in.
itself.
I was looking to see when they tried to restore it.
Maybe that's why they got to kind of get rid of Saddam Hussein, because he was
Well,
gonna.
oh, this looks like the restoration was in the 6th century. After finding little left but the last stage and nothing to guide him as to the monument's original appearance. So this is something that was built in the 6th century.
So okay, it's not modern then. So it's still
No.
1400 years old.
All right. Well, yeah, no, 6th century BC.
Oh, so it's
So 2500, 2600 years.
well, so it's still old as fuck then.
Yeah, it's very old. Yeah, but the original pieces is this stuff up here at the top. That's
Wait, how
from
did they
the
build? Well, then how did they build under it? I don't understand.
well because it was buried and they unburied it and they built this new. They tried to rebuild it. That's what we're seeing here. But they built around what they found. Like this stuff up here is actually from what the original.
And it says it's at the air base in Iraq, so they just put an air base around it. That's weird.
It was the rebuilt was damaged in the Gulf War by a small arms fire, shaken by explosions. 4 bomb craters can be seen nearby. 400. See, this is there's a drawing up here of what they found. So
When was it found?
This is supposedly the 6th century BC. This is what they're trying to depict, what they found. And then they
Find
proceeded
it,
to
notice it again.
they just noticed it. I knew I left it around here somewhere.
Well, dude, because I think that's what happened with the Sphinx, the Great Pyramid, and all them, that they were found by these people, and they said, "Oh, hey, let's do something with them," and because it was found.
Well,
rebuilt,
this is
and then lost again.
this even says he had this rebuilding. They found little left of the last stage, nothing to guide him as to the monument's original appearance. Had it restored in 7 stages rather than 3 in the 6th century. So this may have been nothing like what the original was. He took a wild guess. But this does answer your question as what those sides were. Like I said, it's literally the safety rails. It's literally the handrail. He's even using it as one.
So they just stacked bricks. That's why it looks like stairs on that side too, because they just did bricks and then flattened.
That's not up to code.
No. Although it's cool looking though.
Doesn't look as big as it looked from the pullback shot.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than well, when I saw the sizes up here, it's not as big as he made it out to be. I don't believe him about the tunnel. What was the size again? Let's see, where was it at?
Does it say anywhere?
Oh, here it
there
is.
in the tunnel?
Yeah. Let's see. Not on this page. Let me go down the rabbit hole. I don't believe him.
Well, I don't believe him either, but that's still.
I mean, in part because he's Billy Carson.
Well, does he know how to read this stuff, or is that just? 'Cause I know he said something. I
No,
heard him on, I think it
no,
was,
he knows how to. He knows how to go around the rabbit hole like we are, and and pass it off as his own research.
I'm gonna check out Jim.
You're gonna check out for real?
When I search, there's literally no. Good night, Nick.
Good night, Nick.
There's literally
Let me know if
there's
anybody
literally
interesting pops on.
Okay.
no results for search if I include ziggurat of and require the word tunnel. So he's making that up.
Okay.
That's right, Desert Rat.
Oh, hold on a second. We have a Chicago.
What do you got?
We have a Chicagoan speaking out about the Venezuelans.
To all Venezuelans in Chicago, this is the warning. If you ain't on no bullshit, stay neutral. Somebody please translate. Stay neutral. If you know somebody that's in your building on bullshit, don't let them run in that building, and don't let nobody see them run in that building. Because once word get out that that's the building that they in, they gonna chop that bitch down. Whatever building, the abandoned building y'all occupying and all that shit, yeah, you better get your food and just stay in the house. Because they come out doing some bullshit, y'all gonna regret that. You're gonna really regret that. So, I don't speak Spanish, so somebody need to translate. I hope they got TikTok that translate, I guess. They can kind of make me seem like I'm speaking Spanish. But anyway, take this like a grain of salt.
Hope they got a universal translator.
But this ain't Colorado. This ain't Utah. This ain't none of them places. This is just like where you from. The only difference is y'all use a lot of handgun, old revolvers, and machetes and shit. We got switches. If you not familiar with what a switch is,
I know what a switch is. That's what your grandma used to take the thing and hit you with it when you were bad, right?
That's not what he's referring to.
He's not referring to that. I wonder what he could be talking about. Do you know who
believe
this
he's
Desert
talking-
Rat is that's wanting to join?
I've never but he's
I've never
got good
seen the
ideas.
I know, but let's see. Can I join the live? Well, I guess I could do something that I'm probably going to regret.
No, don't put it in the public.
Oh yeah, okay.
Because then it'll be there later.
Yeah. I don't know. Message me on Twitter, Desert Rat. Send me a
Exactly.
message on Twitter on X, and I'll give you the link, Desert Rat.
Right, it's X. If you spend $54 billion on something, you're allowed to call it what you want,
X,
whatever
Twitter,
you want.
Whatever. But if you send me a message on there, I will send you the link.
It's expanded from Colorado, Chris, to
Yeah, it's in
Chicago.
we'll show you. We don't really be with all the telling and shit. But we will definitely show you what a switch is. So, again, somebody translate. Yeah. Make this known.
Pew, 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 pew. Olay. I'm translating.
This ain't like Colorado. I'm just saying.
So he seems like a nice fellow.
He does. Seems.
Yeah. 32 armed Venezuelans take over an apartment building. Listen to the 911 call. We listened to that earlier. Oh, no, I don't want that.
Oh, don't scroll down.
Oh, look. Hey, look. Somebody clipped it. There's a guy here that looks an awful lot like the guy that's on screen right now.
Who's that? Is that you and
Matt Barr,
you and old Matt? So it's only a matter of days before he has it out for you, like everybody else he's ever spoken to on the internet.
No, see, I honestly I thought I had a good conversation with him.
Yeah, that's the way it always starts.
And I thought I made some headway with them, like that.
Unintended.
Oh, damn it! I thought I.
Yeah, that's the way it starts. He picks a fight with everybody he ever talks to, dude.
And like I tried to say, like, because he was attacking me, saying like I was about who I stream with, that because I streamed with Nicholas and with Dave, that everything they've ever said is like imposed on me. And I'm like, no, if I don't say anything and agree with it, it's not on me. That's not how it works. And he tried to say, yeah. And I'm like, well, you were on a stream with Mint and Ethan, so then I can just associate you with Mint, and you say all these things about Mint, so now that's on you. And he's like, that's apples and oranges. I'm like, I don't think so. So
share my screen on the topic of what we had.
Okay.
Yeah, you were asking what a switch was. Well, apparently, Sandy here messed up the translation.
Who is this?
Did Desert Rat message you?
Yep, I'm gonna see I think this is him. Somebody saying, "What's the link?" So,
what's the frequency, Kenneth?
So we'll see here.
This could end very badly.
He says he's in Southern California.
I'm sorry.
And he's
It
got
never rains there.
Yeah. He's got an Israeli flag and a peace thing in his bio. I don't know. It's Chicago, Illinois. CM Punk. Okay.
Oh God. Phil Brooks. Speaking of people that burn bridges with everybody they ever interact with.
Oh, you know who this is?
No, but when you said CM Punk, I said Phil Brooks.
Well, he's got a CM Punk guy with a CM Punk shirt and bio.
Yeah. I don't know if I can show this on a live stream, but if you were seriously asking what
Super Tiso,
that
what's
switch
going on?
is.
I know what switches are, dude. I know what block switches are. I was just fucking around.
I know. Well, I don't know if we are allowed to share this on the stream. Since this is a live stream.
Pull it up. Let me see what it is. Where's it from?
Yeah, I threw it at you in the private chat.
Okay. Yeah, I think we could show that. We're not doing it.
This is
It's for educational purposes only.
For educational purposes only.
Yeah. So this is what the guy was talking about. If anyone was wondering what that nice young gentleman was speaking about when he said they have switches in Chicago,
Fine young scholar.
That fine young scholar, future scientist, future rocketeer, future whatever,
future
Nobel laureate, businessman,
future business leader, business leader.
That's a pretty.
It just keeps going and going and going and going.
I thought they shot a lot faster than that.
I hope. Well, that's plenty fast, dude.
I know, but I thought it was faster. Let's go. What was I doing before this? Oh yeah, Billy Carson. Back to Billy. Sorry, I'm not sharing. I almost did that. So he. I mean, I don't know. Does he know how to read this stuff? I wonder.
I don't think he does. Before we move on to Billy
this
Carson
guy's-
again.
Oh, okay.
This is what he meant.
Oh, yeah, okay. He meant he's got Nintendo Switches. Okay. Hey, Desert
Nintendo.
Rat, I think you sent me a message on X. I think that was you. I put the link in there in your message. If that was you. If not, I will.
What do you mean, Tiso?
I don't know.
Look, I'm working on the weight.
What do you mean? This is the biggest problem in the universe all over again. I don't know what you mean. That we're fighting about something? I don't know. I think Vito's funny. I don't think Vito's a pedophile at all. I think it's people that say that are, he did something that he shouldn't have did. He leaned into a joke when he got accused of something and just went with it. The whole
People
thing,
forget what comedy used to be.
yeah, the whole cuties thing. He's
Cringe.
never seen the thing. He said he wouldn't see it. His whole argument was that it wasn't child porn. It wasn't against it wasn't unconstitutional. You know what I mean? It was protected by the Constitution. Whatever it is. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I agree. I'm not.
I haven't seen it, but I've read enough reviews that describe the scenes, and it makes me question
but
it.
they tried to go after them in Texas, and it got thrown out.
Well, where
I'm just saying,
Austin?
I don't know. They tried to go after Cutie somewhere in Texas.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Where did it get thrown out at? In Austin?
I don't know. I just know they did, and if it was as bad as everyone says, I think it's gross. I think all the people that
Tiso, I demand Tiso explain himself.
I don't know what he's talking about. I haven't
'Cause we got
blocked
switches.
anybody from chat. If that's what he's talking about, I haven't blocked anybody.
Oh.
I don't block. People.
Oh.
Why did someone get?
No,
blocked?
we're trying to bring people in.
Yeah. I don't think anyone got blocked. Let me look. I don't see anyone blocked in the chat.
What infighting was going on? Jim, I'll tell you, me and you, we're having it. I'm gonna have it out.
Fighting with who you were streaming with. Vito was on a stream with me the other day. I don't care. I will stream with anybody unless I know I know that they're pieces of shit. Like when I mean pieces of shit, into any of the things that people keep accusing other people of lately. Like this whole pedophile thing that keeps getting thrown around. You shouldn't make accusations like that because somebody might hear it and do something about it.
Well, you shouldn't make accusations like that because it's one of the few indefensible forms of slander is accusing
Correct.
somebody of a
I
felony.
don't-
You can't
I don't-
accuse somebody of a felony.
I resurrected Adolf. Let's see the error of his ways.
Are you writing a comic, Super?
I don't know what he's doing. He's trolling me, I think. I don't know. I mean,
None of
are you
it.
saying
No, he's
we're
not
gonna-
trolling you.
Are we going to clone him? Is that what you're saying? There's going to be a clone?
Well, we were talking about the moon.
Oh, the moon. Okay. No,
That's where he's hanging out.
Honestly, 99% of the stuff that you're going to see on my stream is for entertainment purposes only. It's not,
No. As soon as you throw in magic, the comic book idea goes to crap. It's just like when you didn't start with a premise of time travel at the very beginning and you add it later, that you've painted yourself in a corner.
Oh, Red Scorpion, I can tell you for a fact that Dick is not happy with what's been going on. It's not, some of the stuff is manufactured, but the blocking of people is not.
No, he wasn't happy with that one.
Yeah, that is not manufactured. He's very upset about it.
Yeah, Dick's absolutely angry about blocking people.
Yeah.
The irony.
Yeah. Yeah, I could show you something here. Photos. Photos. Open this.
The difference is the hood doesn't have the support of the CIA like the Venezuelan gangs. Chirac will be Gaza in 36 hours.
Stop screen. Present. So I need to do this. Share screen, window. Here we go. So here's basically Vito now on the biggest problem.
Vito wishes he was that thin. I believe it would require him to be placed in a camp like that.
And then I'll show you what Dick looks like now on biggest
Oh,
problem. Dick.
Yes.
Here we go. This one. So there's Dick. Schindler's Dick.
Why do I have a feeling if I went and searched that actually was released on VHS at some point?
Oh, it could be. And then this is, I don't know if you know who this is. This is Dick's partner on the Dick Show, Sean. I did a great job, I think, on that myself.
I think you did. You should have never been shown how to use that tool.
I know, right? It's a scary thing. It's great.
It's very dangerous. Luckily, my face doesn't work with it.
Yeah. Well, you got a turtle face. It's hard to get that to work. All right, where were we? What were we talking about?
We were talking about Chirac and switches and Sumerian texts and whether or not Carter, what's his face, can read them.
I guess that guy didn't want to come in. He asked for the link, and
1 hour ago, Lex Friedman posted a picture with Trump and said, "This happened. Podcast out tomorrow at 1 p.m."
he's gonna have Trump on.
Yeah, I guess they recorded it today.
Interesting.
I have a conspiracy theory.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I'm completely new. It's topical. Let me get this large enough that we can see it. Here we go. Let me share my screen. I have questions. This has questions for me. Why is she holding the phone to her ear if she's wearing headphones?
That doesn't make a lot of sense. She's pretending has earphones in. She forgot because she doesn't want to answer questions. So if she has headphones in, she doesn't have to answer questions. So that's the only thing I can come up with.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
I don't understand. I got 11 people there. I got 11 people there. It's 22. I don't understand how any of this works. It says I got 70 people watching on StreamYard.
You counting Twitter?
It must be counting Twitter because I got 11 watching on. 11 watching.
Look,
on
if you're
Rumble.
here and you're watching and you haven't clicked the like button and all that jazz, do that, and that way we know where you're watching.
But it's got to be Twitter.
So many
There's a
of
bunch
it.
people watching on Twitter. Gotta be. Gotta be.
All I know is Desert Rat was a real cock tease.
Yeah, I know. He said he was coming on, and then he didn't. I said, unless that was somebody else that I sent the link to. That sent me a message like, "Oh, where's this link?" But I don't know. Maybe he's got to set up his stuff.
Can I while we're on the veto topic, I'm just reading back through the chat. I mean, is it really that big a deal that as a joke he blocked a couple of people temporarily to
well, no,
play
if it was a
into
joke, if it was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. I don't think he was
the. It
serious.
was, but that was.
And he was
But, hold
blocking
on.
people, but he blocked people that were like, okay, that would be like, who can I say? Like this would be like, that would be like if Shane blocked Woden Shot and a bunch of, like people that were like big supporters, or if Ethan started, like if Ethan blocked Low Watermark, or if somebody was on, I'm sorry, if somebody else was on Ethan's stream and blocked Low Watermark, or someone like that, or Pramvat Gulati guy.
But no. These were people doing the bare minimum they could tweet, they could super chat to super chat the exact same thing over and over again.
Well, no, the one guy makes all the stingers and stuff for the show.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, he even said, well, let me go find him and try and unblock him. He just threw it at a couple of people that were doing it. It wasn't a "you're going to be blocked forever" thing. It was part of the.
No, he said he's going to unblock him tomorrow.
Well, he said it during the show. He was sitting there trying to go and unblock the guys. He should have just. I mean, what he should have done is timed them out.
Yeah,
give him the 30-second timeout. Would have it automatically
I saw,
pushes
like,
itself.
I'm a mod in their chat, and like, and so I went in. Like when I went into the show when it started, and I was seeing all these people getting blocked. I was like, what the fuck is going on? That's
Okay,
all
so
I
is
saw
there
in
more
chat.
than the
It
ones that?
Oh no, it was
how
like
many were
a lot
there?
of people. Like at least 20 people got blocked. Like he was just like block, and I'm like, what? And it was like it wasn't Vito doing it; it was somebody doing it for Vito.
I got you.
Like Vito made some.
I didn't realize it was that many. I didn't realize it was that many. I thought it was
I asked
the handful he did.
No, I was like, what the fuck is going on in here? And they're like, oh, it's a war of attrition to get rid of the dickheads. And I was like, wait a minute, seriously? Like that doesn't seem like a good plan for the show going forward. Considering like the supporters of the show, like that pay on Patreon, are the majority of them are dickheads.
Right.
It's like almost 2-to-1 dickheads to veto files.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like he calls them veto files.
Well, he leaned into cringe
He
humor.
leaned in too much, but
no, he didn't. Not too much. I'm not going to give him too much.
well, he leaned into it, and then when you lean into it, sometimes you got to take the heat, and so he's got to take the heat.
I don't disagree there, but it's just old fashioned cringe humor. If it was 2005, nobody would bat an eye.
And it could also be a plan by Vito to get Dick to stop like fucking with him with these toys, because just on the Dick show yesterday,
he's not liking that.
Somebody had sent an entire case of these little pink piggies that were supposed to go into the Vito thing, and Dick was like, I can't give this to him now. I can't, because after everything that's happened, if I give these to him, he's just gonna lose it, and I can't.
It's an okay bit that needs to be fleshed out a little bit. I somewhat see Vito's comment about if it hadn't been the same thing every week for the first 6 weeks of the gimmick.
Because, dude, some of the stuff that got sent in was really good stuff that he would like. Like
right, but he kept picking the mother's milk.
He keeps fucking with
and that therefore it got boring quick. We knew what it was going to be,
The Mother Milk CD though was funny.
It was.
Yeah, like it was like the third or fourth week in a row when it was a Mother's Milk doll. I was like, oh, you can't keep it. Come on, this got to stop.
Yeah, it's no longer funny. You're going to the same well.
All right, let's get back to this. This is very.
To the lands I will teach about him who experienced all things alike. Anu granted him the totality of knowledge of all. Now, who is Anu? A-N-U. Anu is the god or the.
Oh, he was purple?
Dude, AI has made the conspiracy theorist YouTubers' job way too easy.
Seriously. These people look scary. I mean, their hair kind of looks similar to some other people's hair that I don't want to talk about right now, but
Looks like he's about to snap.
yeah, this dude looks angry. Angry.
The king or the head person of the Anunnaki. Anu is the father of Enki and Enlil. Okay, he's the head. He's the leader. All right, so he at the time he actually is the.
Isn't it kind of weird that this guy's name is Anu and his son was Enki and her name is Anu Enki?
Hey, there you go. I don't know how much I buy into this though.
You can come back, Nicholas, if you want. I don't know. There was somebody that claimed they were coming on. They wanted the link. They messaged me on Twitter.
Yeah, Rocky was right.
What?
Blue
Battlefield
Battlefield Earth. We know what that AI got trained on. Wrong John Travolta movie. It's a bunch of disco dancers.
I don't know who this guy is, but
That's right, Red Scorpion. That's what I'm pointing out. They done gave him easy mode.
yeah, the AI is a conspiracy tube cheat code. These guys could never have art this good. They had to work to sell this stuff. Now AI makes the chumps look way too professional for their own good. I don't know. There's this guy. You know who Jimmy Corsetti is?
No.
He's a young guy.
You go down rabbit holes, I don't go down.
He's like a big proponent of the Rishat structure being Atlantis. He's like all up on the like the Göbekli Tech. I keep fucking this name up.
Biblioteca.
Göbekli Tepe.
Donde? Yes. You're trying to do translations for the Switch guy.
No.
Yeah, you got it.
Anyway,
you got
it's
it.
this fucking thing in Turkey. It's something with a G and a T. Göbekli Tepe or Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe. Fuck.
There you go.
He's been on Rogan. He was on Rogan actually with the guy, the solar flare guy, Ben Davidson. They were on together on Rogan. And like I like his stuff, but like I don't buy that. I'm a believer that Atlantis was where the Azores are. That's my belief, that the Azores sunk, and that the whole thing about it being subsided into, because why would they say it sunk into the ocean if it was part of the land, right?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
And why would you go out the Pillars of Hercules to get to it if it was in Africa? You wouldn't. You would just go to Africa.
King. He's the king of Nibiru. Anu granted him the totality of knowledge.
See, Nibiru is planet X that modern science is saying this planet does exist. Not Nibiru, but the 10th planet that does something.
Right.
And so this story kind of is getting life again.
Yeah, they have to call it the 10th planet now because X is trademarked by Elon Musk.
Yeah.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Could be Yu-Gi-Oh card. Could be. Hey, and I just want to say to any of the people watching, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You would doesn't cost nothing. It's free. Just subscribe to my channel. Doesn't hurt. Takes 1 second, and then maybe hit the like button.
It's a free subscription.
You come here, I do a dance for you, woo, 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 to try to make you laugh and maybe enjoy something. And, let me know that you're enjoying yourself. I mainly basically steal other people's content and show it and talk about it, but that's just because I have no original thoughts.
You're transforming it with critique, education, and commentary. Yeah, so completely transformative, legally distinct.
Don't do the Rama. Don't sniff petrol from a can. It stays in the car. Remember.
Evolved.
That's right.
So we're talking about Gilgamesh being granted the ability to
you don't sniff your petrol from the can. You pour it on a rag.
last long. Look at
Does
that.
it smell like chloroform to you?
Why is this scroll glowing?
Because AI is not perfect yet. Look at the fingers.
This is weird. So is this supposed to be Gilgamesh?
Maybe.
Why
Or it's the epic. It's the epic because the AI is not perfect yet. He got tired of
He
going
saw the secret,
recreate.
discovered the hidden. He brought information of all time before the flood. This is a pre-diluvial text. We're talking about before the Great Flood, and you're going to see.
See, I think there's probably been a lot of floods.
Yeah.
Know? Like a lot of floods. Like other people, I mean, like I think, I mean, if what Graham Hancock and Randall Carlson say about the ice, the glaciers melting so rapidly, causing these two huge pulses of water that it's supposedly mainstream science now. They know that this happened. These, whatever it's freshwater pulse 1 and 1A or something like that, or 1A and 1B or whatever it is. About basically at the start and at the end of the Younger Dryas period, that would cause a lot of floods. A lot of places, basically all of North America would have been flooded. Plus, a lot of places close to the ocean. If the ocean rose 400 or 500 feet, that's going to cause a lot of floods.
Yeah,
the whole thing. The story about it raining for 40 days and 40 nights for Noah, that could happen if, say, a comet or asteroid hit the ice caps and caused a mass melting, and all this water went up into the atmosphere. It would rain. The water's got to come back down. So I mean,
yes,
it's possible.
Well, some of us also think that that stuff's not just a storybook. So
right, no, it's not. I'm saying like I think most of the stuff in the Bible, is probably real. It's just maybe it's older than the people that they, might be passed down older stories.
Well, if there was no day and night, because this, if I've always felt like the theory of evolution backs up the story of Genesis more than it contradicts it. In the beginning, there was nothing. And the Lord said, "Let there be light." Yeah. Big bang. Then everything was everything was without form, and it coalesced and forms planets and all that. And it says 7 days, but what says that was a 24-hour day?
No, that's the thing. It doesn't say, because a day. What is a day? What's a day is what we interpret it to be. So
it became because the day and the night aren't separated at the beginning. So how long did that last?
See, I always go back to the great philosopher Eddie Murphy. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
It means nothing.
Had to do something.
Must have been something.
Motherfucker
hit you in the mouth.
So,
this is my house, and I live here.
But I wonder, like, is it possible? What?
Just some good detracting from Vincenzo. Hold on. We don't need to derail for too long, but
that's fine. This is just stuff I didn't know what else to talk about, so I figured I would just.
Just some good detracting.
Oh, I saw this. Yeah.
Can't wait finishing up his work.
All right, that's funny.
I'm sorry.
The thing about the Big Bang Theory, Red Scorpion, is that the people's actually.
It's a horrible TV show?
No, well, that is a horrible TV show. Have you ever seen it without the laugh track? Holy fuck, is it insufferable? But I enjoyed watching it, actually. Not just because of some of the science stuff in it, because they had actual science experts. And
do you remember CSI and the crazy, enhance, and they would actually remember they're getting hacked, and they both start typing on the same keyboard and all that. Do you know there was actually a competition going on between the writers on CSI and what's the show with Mark Harmon, NCIS?
NCIS.
They on who could get the most ludicrous text stuff onto screen and through the edit process.
But actually, I was going to say the Big Bang Theory specifically does not rule out divine intervention. When you ask, well, what caused it? They don't know. So, but anyway, back to my point about, we know that the Earth's been hit by shit. Okay, the whole thing about the dinosaurs and everything, they think it was, they're pretty sure it was.
Hey, you can go to the craters.
Yeah, the craters and stuff, and we know there's huge craters in the oceans outside the Indian Ocean. They found a huge one that I think they've tied to where they think the whole story of Lemuria. There's like a Empire of Lemuria, is it? Empire.
I've heard that guy with Hecklefish talk about it quite a bit.
Yeah, like where that's related to that, and then no, I don't believe that us in our form, modern humans, the way we are now, have existed for over 100,000 years, walking around with this brain, and we're still living. Like, you know what I mean? Like something happened that set us back. You look at these things that they built that they claim that were built at times when there's no explanation for how they could have happened then with the materials and the tools used, like the Great Pyramids, the Sphinx, and all these carvings and stuff. And it just doesn't add up to me that was done with copper tools.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Who's this?
Well, they didn't have YouTube and stuff to distract them, though.
Hello.
Go to sleep.
Who this?
His audio is all bad. We're hearing a background noise. He's got to be in Chicago.
Can you hear me? He's muted now. Hello?
He's trying to fix his audio, I can tell. I wonder if I can hear myself back to me.
I think you're echoing. What are you on?
Are you on a phone?
Yes, I'm on a phone.
You might have to put in some earbuds or something so it doesn't echo.
Trying to figure out what we're hearing in the background. Is it Venezuelans taking over a
Are you in
apartment
Chicago
complex?
or are you in Southern California?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Home of the
Who's got
Blackhawks. Home
What?
of the Blackhawks.
You're
Home of the Blackhawks.
Home of the Blackhawks. I'm translating.
Okay.
I'm translating for two
Are you
people
a
from
Cubs fan or a
Chicago.
Sox-
That's
Are you a
sad.
Cubs fan or a Sox fan?
Cubbies.
Oh, well, I feel sorry for you.
Wow, Jim, really?
I feel sorry for myself.
They broke the curse. It's all good.
Well, yeah. Well, you know.
The Billy Goat's curse has been broken. It's all good. Although that's a whole conspiracy theory we could go into at some point.
Yeah. Well.
So what's up?
So
What's up, Phil Brooks fan? You're joining us. What do we do? What would you like to discuss?
Flat Earth.
Flat Earth? Oh
Yeah.
man, I'm not really a fan of the flat Earth. It causes a lot of problems if because I just. But if you want to come on sometime when we could discuss it on a Thursday show, to really make Dave cry.
No, is Dave a flat earther?
No, he's not a flat earther, but it would just be funny because
God.
then he'll get all the hate. People will send him messages because whenever you talk about the flat Earth, you get like bombarded from all sides.
I have a conspiracy about the flat Earth.
Oh, what is it?
You know, for all of my life, Flat Earth Society was a reference to something that universally, even the craziest among us would consider insane, right? And then they signed the NDAA of 2012, making it legal to propagandize Americans. And all of a sudden, the internet blew up with people who believe in the flat Earth. And I think it was just them testing the waters of what can we get away with now. And that's why there's all these people who think that the Earth is flat, because they got caught up in that change. Because pre-2012, even the craziest of conspiracy theorists used a flat earther to imply somebody was insane and didn't know what they were talking about.
Well, I mean, I see some merit. I mean, not. Let's try to phrase this.
I've read him off.
I see some merit in the like the arguments. Like I've seen the flight paths that where the planes fly, and I'm like, why do they fly like this? You know, like why do they go up and come back down if they're going to South America from like Europe and stuff? And it's like they fly in a weird direction, almost like they're not. Like,
well, because they don't want to be too far away from occupied land. Should they have an emergency and need to land?
Okay, but I mean, usually you would think the shortest distance would be a straight line, but
if it was flat, yeah. But I think
I wasn't telling the guy not to. I wasn't telling you to leave or anything. I was just saying, really, we're kind of talking about something else. If you wanted to talk about flat Earth, we could do a Thursday stream about the flat Earth, and you'd be more than welcome to come on. If you were,
I didn't tell him to leave either.
I know, but
he seemed like he might have been a little overwhelmed with actually joining the conversation.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever your name is, what was his name again?
GTS.
GTS.
Iron Sheik, yes.
Whatever you were in the chat, I can't remember.
I break your back, make you humble.
Where is he at?
Jumping Jim Brunzel.
What the fuck? How long ago was that? Desert Rat. If that was you, Desert Rat, or whatever, GTS or whoever, and you want to come back on,
Rat with two T's.
You're more than welcome to come.
Because
now he's got a different
Aquanet.
name. Wait a minute, is this fucking Lethal Burrito?
I don't know who Lethal Burrito is.
Is this Lethal Burrito?
That's the Viper.
He's the only person I know that changes his name so many times. Hello? You there? Okay. So.
Going once. Going twice.
I don't know. Maybe he's having some kind of phone issues or something. I don't know. But, all right. Well, whoever you are, Viper, if you want to, chime in with some.
Oh, hold on. I've got something for Rocky. So Rocky says, remember is this dress blue or is this dress gold?
Oh, yeah.
I have an answer on that one.
It was neither.
No, it depended on the quality of your screen. If you were looking at it on a low quality TFT, it looked gold because it didn't have the same color range as like a slightly better phone or slightly better TFT screen because of the color range of the photo. And I don't know why nobody noticed that the people who thought it was blue were on like iPhones and higher end phones, and the people who thought it was gold were on little $49 track phone Androids. That should have been a clue to what was going on. And anybody who's ever done color calibration on a monitor should have been able to see what was going on there. It's definitely the same guy. GTS is Viper.
Okay, cool.
They're in the same bar.
don't know if he's in a bar.
Because I'm just saying it's the same background noise.
Could be outside. You know, it's only midnight in Chicago. It's not. There's a lot of bars still open.
Did you hear about Morton Salt?
What, the factory?
Yeah, they're leaving. They're going to Kansas. Yep. They explicitly said, yes, they explicitly said they are leaving Chicago because of the anti-business nature of the Illinois state government. They can no longer, but they said that they're moving their headquarters to Kansas City because they said they can no longer.
They mine their salt from underneath Lake Michigan.
I understand they're moving their headquarters to Kansas City because of the Illinois state government has made it impossible to do business there.
Oh, he's gone.
Let's see if I can find the. He's still trying to figure out his device.
Okay. Well, all right, let's go back to this. Let's see.
In this later on, as I get to those later tablets about Unapishtim, who's actually the same person as Ziusudra, who really is Noah. And he's got to build this ark. And you're going to see some incredible information about this ark, and the shape of the ark doesn't match the shape of the biblical ark. He saw the secret, discovered the hidden. He brought information.
Hold on, Rocky. It's not an It's they're mining underneath the lake. There's tunnels and everything, huge underground tunnels. Sometimes they flood, actually. But yeah, that they mine the salt out of, because believe it or not, like there's a cap or something underneath, and that kept it from the water. Some kind of, I don't know if it's not. There's some kind of granite or some kind of stone underneath Lake Michigan that prevents the water from leaching through, so all the salt is still there. So, and they get it. Hello.
Of the time before the flood.
I was waiting on that.
A distant journey, pushing himself to exhaustion, but then was brought to peace.
Now he's made out of stone.
He carved on a stone stela all of his toils and built the wall of Uruk Haven, the wall of the sacred.
Now, this is a
Dude,
balance.
Trump. I was just going to say Trump Tower's lobby is
Towers ain't got
impressive.
shit on that, man.
Look at all that gold. So much gold.
That's a lot of gold. Goldfinger.
Iana Temple, the holy sanctuary. Look at this wall, which gleams with copper. Inspect its.
It's copper, not gold. That don't look like no copper, because copper turns green when it's exposed to the air. It oxidizes.
Copper's worth money.
I know, but it changes color. It gets.
I mean, meth heads are fixing to raid this place and steal the walls. These tweakers are going to tear this lobby up.
There's a name for it.
Oxidization.
Yeah, oxidization, but there's a specific name for it for copper, because it's when it turns green, like roofs. You ever seen the green copper roofs?
Yeah, it's
it'll come to me. There's a specific name for it. It's not just oxid. It's when it oxidizes, but they have a name for it, and I can't think of it. Patina. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, patina is not just for copper, but
right. But
yeah.
Inner wall, the likes of which no one can equal. Take hold of the threshold stone. It dates from the ancient times. Go close the Iana Temple, the residence of Ishtar. Who is Ishtar? Ishtar
that was a horrible movie.
The reason why you celebrate Easter. Okay, she was the fertility goddess.
Oh well, hello. She looks fertile to me. And look at that. Now, is it just me, or is this the shape of a vagina?
Is that your AI girlfriend? That you weren't supposed to point it out. It's sort of like a O'Keeffe painting. You
you're
just
not supposed to. Okay.
You're supposed to pretend it's a tulip.
Well, them two lips are something I like.
In Babylonian times. And the actual holiday of Easter, which is celebrated mostly by Christians, is actually the celebration of fertility of Ishtar, the Babylonian Anu.
Well, that's another thing that's freaky too. Like, you know, the statue of like, you see the statues of Mary that you see, like, you know, the little Mary, the mother of Jesus or whatever, Virgin Mary statues.
Yes.
Did you ever look at one of those statues and look at the outline of the statue and what it looks like?
Same as the Egyptian sun god, yeah.
Yeah. It's weird, right?
It's kind of obvious. They if you they did the if you can't beat them, join them thing.
Anunnaki goddess. This is why they have the eggs and the bunnies laying the eggs. It's a fertility thing. It has nothing to do with resurrections. So if you've been celebrating Easter all this time, you've been celebrating and you've been worshiping Ishtar. Okay? Now you know. Check this out. 1 league city, 1 league palm garden.
Well, no, I thought what.
Well,
I know, like,
just like the point.
Go ahead.
Just from a production standpoint, what we were saying earlier about this AI, it's very jarring when you come back to his live footage.
I mean, the Christians, they adopted a lot of holidays,
a lot of
pagans, and they just combined them with They take basically so that so like a I think it's what Saturnalius was actually is the worship of Saturn, and it was Christmas, you know, bringing in the, and then the like it's the whole Yule log to bring the Yule log in. That's where the tree comes from, right? And
right.
Well, you know, Easter
And
was
they
a
got that
fertility thing, but I mean,
from the Druids and all that. Yeah. They combined. Yeah, cultural holidays.
Yeah.
You know, well, there's nothing in the Bible that talks about Labor Day either.
Yeah, no, Labor Day. That's a.
But what I'm saying is, we as a people,
we adopted the holiday
we as
of
a
the communists on Labor Day.
Right. Look, I'm not complaining about the day off, dude.
No.
The only thing is, tomorrow I'm gonna spend all day thinking it's Monday.
You know, Labor Day is actually the only day that, like, was guaranteed you'd have off as a union member. 'Cause that was
Wow.
Like any other day you'd work. I mean, because you'd work other days. Like I've worked.
Union members don't work.
I work. Dude, I've worked, you know, on the 4th of July. I worked on Easter. I worked on Memorial Day. I worked on New Year's Day. I worked on Christmas Day. I've never worked on Labor Day.
Yep.
It's the only day that it was
I
like,
have.
no, you won't, you know, because it was like, because it's like a union holiday thing. Like, no, it's Labor Day. We don't work on Labor Day.
Gardens. So from the city, there's a league to the Palm Gardens. And from the Palm Gardens, there's another league to the lowlands, the open area of Ishtar Temple. 3 leagues, and the open area of Uruk is the wall encloses. We're talking about a super megalithic wall that encloses.
There's a lot of edits in there, right? Or is that just me?
There's a lot of edits.
Okay.
Encloses this entire area. Now, Gilgamesh went through every hardship, supreme over other kings, lordly in appearance. He is the hero. He walks out in front, the leader, and walks in the rear, trusted by his champions. Mighty Net, protector of his people. Raging flood wave who destroys even the walls of stone. They're describing Gilgamesh now. So we're talking about the fact that this man, first of all, he's a giant. He's described as a giant.
Wow. That's awesome. That is
Looks
awesome.
like Liam Neeson in the remake of Clash of the Titans.
I know. He's got big fucking hands for that body.
He's incredibly
Like I said, the
massive.
AI ain't
This is a
perfect.
big
I mean,
person. You'll
does
see.
Does he have
What?
fingers and toes?
Hold on. What did he just say? He's
So we're talking
your
about
video
the fact
there,
that this man, first
Billy.
of all, he's a giant. He's described as a giant.
He's a giant. He's
No,
described
no.
as a giant.
Right.
counting
It's when he comes back. He's got 6. No.
Well, no, because they say
the AI has fixed that.
no. In actuality, though, I thought the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, all them are supposed to Super Saiyan Jesus.
Hold on. You're gonna like his description. I think it went. Just hit play. It's coming. Local syndrome.
He's incredibly massive. This is a big person. You'll see.
Man, that's the description I want. Incredibly massive. This is a big dick person.
Oh, I thought he said big.
He
big
really.
person. Did he say big?
No. That's why I'm asking. Back it up 3 seconds. It's right when he comes
We're
back from
talking
the
about
edit.
the fact that this man, first of all, he's a giant. He's described as a giant. He's incredibly massive. This is a big person.
He said big person.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
If he would have said big dick person, that would have been funny.
I think he did. That's what I heard.
See, if you Google Gilgamesh or the Epic of Gilgamesh, you'll see that he's holding a lion in one arm across his chest, a full-size grown male lion with the mane and all.
How do we know it's not a cub?
Because it has a mane.
Oh, okay.
And it looks
That
like
face
a kitty
looks
cat
like
in his
a-
arms almost. This is how big this guy was.
Hold on, pause it.
Maybe it was
I'm
just
just
a
gonna.
cat.
I'm with a mane, but
maybe they shaved
that
his
face looks like Captain Kangaroo.
What's up with that beard, though? I mean, that was
It
forever.
looks like one of the. It looks like one of those, the crocheted beards, to keep your face warm on them cold days. But it's Captain Kangaroo with a fake beard and a teeny tiny lion. Why does his hair have nipples throughout?
That's weird. Yeah, that is weird. He's wearing why is he wearing a watch? Why the fuck is he wearing a watch?
He's got a watch. You're right. Why has he got a watch?
Where's his phone?
Back then swatches were all the rage. A Swatch watch. You had to wear like 3 of them.
Blue Rancher's right. Is he wearing a swatch?
You
You got it like that. Yeah. Oh shit. Indiana Jones. Yeah.
But he has knowledge of how to build, how to construct, of advanced technology. He also has the capability of traveling, not around his local area, but around the world. Okay? Around the world.
Well, maybe it was before the Earth grew, so maybe he just walked there.
Can we chip in and start a GoFundMe for Billy and buy him a teleprompter?
He's reading from something, but maybe it's just a.
Yeah, he's reading from. Yeah, but he's got it off center from his camera. And
He's got to have enough money, dude. He's got to be making right. I mean, he's got like 1 million subs on YouTube or something.
I mean, they cost all of $100.
Well, no, you get one of the ones with the camera built in, like the.
No, you didn't. You don't even need the one with
for,
camera
like,
built in.
I'm saying you can get one that's like a studio grade with the camera built into the face, with the screen for like $7,000, I think.
You don't. Yeah, but you don't even need that anymore. Just a stand for your iPad.
I mean, my setup I've got here cost me.
Well, it's because you've got like your 96-inch screen in front of you, so you don't even
Well, I know,
need
but I mean, my
lights.
mic was like $400, and the boom was like $300. My camera was $400,
Right.
and the stand and the Rodecaster was $1,000. So I mean, it adds up. Streamline. My
Why
ring
did
light
you-
was $200. Why did I buy a Rodecaster?
Yeah.
I ain't never been so frisky in my life.
That's why.
don't need a Roadcaster to have fun. You can spend $35 on a USB interface that does this. I don't know what that means. This is so I can live my Mange Davis live action role play. Biggity bam!
Bam! Oh man. Yeah, we've got to be like.
He explored the world regions. He didn't explore around the corner.
He had a ship made of gold?
Copper, no patina.
I would think the saltwater would play havoc on the copper.
I would think so too. The sails are made out of it
the next
too.
village. He explored the world. So every time we keep talking about these ancestors, man, and we think that they don't know anything and that they're dumb and what they say has no value, it's like spitting in their face.
Yep.
Seeking life. That was the reason why he was traveling the world, seeking.
Oh, this is more AI stuff that's just fucking awesome looking. Like, how long do you think until you can just tell AI, I want a movie that does, like it just tell
Less than 10 years.
And it just
Less
makes
than
the
10
whole
years,
movie.
and the only thing is it will all be in slow motion. Have you noticed that about the AI video?
Yeah.
Less than 10 years.
Seeking life. It was he who reached by his own sheer strength Upanishtim. We're talking about Noah now. The faraway, who restored the sanctuaries or cities that the flood destroyed. 2/3 of him is God. 1/3 of him is human. Now let me say that again. 2/3 of him is God. 1/3 of him is human.
How is that possible? 2/3 is God, 1/3 is human. That doesn't seem like it. That doesn't add up.
That doesn't math.
That doesn't math, right? Because, like, you would, unless wait. Okay, unless. No. Well, I mean, because if you had a god that had a child with a half god, that would be a 3/4 god, right?
Right. Let's let him explain it. It's way too late for me to be thinking this through.
He's 2/3 Anunnaki and 1/3 human. If you want to understand the mix of his genetics and why he was so brilliant, why his IQ was so vast, why his strength and his size were incredible, and why he was considered to be a hero. He was mostly Anunnaki DNA. The great goddess Aru designed the model for his body. She prepared his form, beautiful and handsome of men, perfect. We're talking about the fact that they genetically created him. Now, they didn't create him from scratch as if...
Dude was jacked. He was like, so he's basically Conan the Barbarian.
He was on that gas.
Yeah.
Conan was smart-ish.
I don't know, man. I guess.
They created a person out of nothing. But right now, today, and I have a friend who's done this with his first child, and he has a second child that they're going to do this as well. They create designer.
And may your first child be a masculine child.
Child. Dude, that's the problem. Everyone was saying that about 20 years ago, and look what it's led to.
Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me. But until that day, accept this justice as a gift on my daughter's wedding day.
I got to get a better recording of that. It's fucking not good.
They're babies.
Might have to just make it myself off the movie because that sucked.
He spent over $250,000 to make a designer baby. I mean, he's rich. He can do whatever he wants. They pick the hair color. They pick the eye color. They pick everything. Okay?
It's kind of what they're doing now with CRISPR and stuff, right?
That's what he was saying. That's what he was saying. He's got a friend who's done that.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I was still trying to get my mind around the guy that looked jacked out of his ass.
They also filter out potential genetic diseases and things like that, turn genes off, turn genes on to keep the person supposedly healthy for the most of their life. And that's something you can go do right now today in the world we live in. Well, they were doing this in ancient times. The great goddess Aruru designed the model for his body, prepared his form, beautiful and handsomest of men, perfect. Aruru washed her hands. She pinched off some clay and threw it into the wilderness. Now here's where it gets very interesting. In the wilderness, she created the valiant Enkidu. So now we're getting into some stuff that really is about genetics. Anu said, well, this guy, he's got to have a counterpart. If it's not going to be a woman, let him have a counterpart, because he wants to go on this hero's journey. He wants to keep traveling the world. Give him a companion to go with him. So they literally fashion a person. They create an entity which isn't really a human. It's more like a cyborg, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so she doesn't give birth to this thing. She creates it somewhere outside the gates of.
Did they say she created it from clay? So if it's clay, it's not. I mean, isn't that in the Bible too? Something about God created. Am I thinking of something else? Created it from clay. Created Adam from clay. No, are you here? Oh, he must
I'm
have left.
sorry. No, I hadn't left. I bumped the mute button.
Is that?
Yes, Adam was fashioned out of clay.
So it's the same story?
Basically.
Huh, okay.
Rook. And check this out.
Although,
When Aruru heard this, she
pause it for a
created-
second. I'm starting to figure out where a certain comic creative from Texas comes up with these horrible names for his heroes.
What, from him?
This kind of these names throw me every time he throws one out. Enkidu, Enkidu. Come on.
Oh, Inky Dinky Diet. Oh, the first Marine cooked the bean, parlez-vous. The second Marine, the first Marine picked the bean, parlez-vous. The second Marine cooked the bean, parlez-vous. The third Marine ate the bean and shit all over the submarine. Inky Dinky, parlez-vous. That's what he means. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Within herself, the secret of Anu. Aruru washed her hands. She pinched off some clay and threw it into the wilderness. In the wilderness, she created valiant Enkidu, born of silence, endowed with strength by Ninurta. His whole body was shaggy with hair. He had a full head of hair like a woman. His locks billowed in profusion like a shan. So he had dreadlocks. He knew neither peopled nor said a living. He didn't know human beings, and he didn't know anything about civilization or being civilized. All right.
Raised
Wore
by
a garment
wolves.
like Shamukan. He ate grasses with the gazelles and jostled at the watering hole with animals. As with animals, his thirst was staked by mere water. A notorious trapper
So he did
came
have
face to face
horns.
with him opposite of the watering
We
hole.
go back to the very beginning, remember?
Yeah, he had horns.
At first, a second and third day, he came back to
Maybe Red Scorpion is right that Enkidu is the first Sasquatch.
Sam Squatch.
Sam Squanch.
face with him, the opposite, wearing the watering hole, and at the watering hole. On seeing him, the trapper's face went stark with fear, and he, Enkidu, and his animals drew back home. He was rigid with fear. Though stock still, his heart pounded with his face drained of color. He was miserable to the core, and his face looked like one who had made a long journey. The trapper addressed with his father, saying, "Father, a certain fellow has come from the mountains. He is the mightiest in the land. His strength is as mighty as the meteorite of Anu. He continually goes over the mountains. He continuously jostles at the watering place with the animals. He continually plants his feet opposite of the watering place. I was afraid, so I did not go to him. He filled in the pits that I had dug, wrenched out my traps that I had spread, release from my grasp the wild animals. He does not let me make my rounds in the wilderness. The trapper's father spoke to him, saying, My son, there lives in Uruk a certain Gilgamesh. There is no one stronger than he. He is as strong as the meteorite of Anu. Go set off to Uruk. Tell Gilgamesh of this man and might. He will give you the harlot Shamat. Then take her with you. The woman will overcome the fellow as if he were strong. When the animals are drinking at the water place, have her take her robe off and expose her sex. When he sees her, he will draw near to her, and his animals will grow up in the wilderness, and he will be alien to him. He heeded his father's advice. The trapper went off to Uruk. He made the journey, stood inside of Uruk, and declared to Gilgamesh,
Did you just catch that he read the wrong word there?
Yes.
He said he headed his father, not heeded. He
Headed.
heeded his father's.
Yep.
He headed his father's.
He headed his father's advice, man. It's good stuff.
a certain fellow who has come from the mountains. He is the mightiest in the land. His strength is mighty as the meteorite of Anu. He continually goes over the mountains. He continuously jostles the watering place with the animals. He continually plants his feet opposite the watering place. I was afraid, so I did not go up to him. He filled in the pits that I had dug. He wrenched out my traps that I had.
Didn't we? Wait, is he repeating himself?
Yes.
What the fuck? Stop repeating yourself.
Will be alien to him. Obviously, they're taking this female named Shamat, and they're going to have her literally just seduce this guy so that they can get him away from the trap so this hunter can continue to hunt and bring.
AI. Oh, you can see the fingers are all fucked up though. See it? Right here? And that hand? So that's its AI.
It's early AI. Yeah. It's all AI. Why pay for stock footage?
For the village, which is probably his main source of income. Okay. The trapper went bringing the harlot, Shamat, with him. They set off on the journey, making direct way. On the third day, they arrived at the appointed place, and the trapper and the harlot sat down at their posts. A first day and the second, they sat.
I mean, I don't really like that they're calling her a harlot. I mean, maybe she needed the money.
I know, but you know, hey.
Opposite the watering hole. The animals arrived and drank at the watering hole. Then he, Enkidu, offspring of the mountains,
sex
who
work
eats
is real
grasses
work.
with the gazelles, came to drink at the watering hole with the animals. When the wild beast he staked with water, then Shamat saw him, a primitive, a savage fellow from the depths of the wilderness. That is he, Shamat. Release.
Tiso's right. He needs to chill out with all that harlot talk. Yeah. She's at best a floozy.
Why's he got horns?
Because he grew up with the gazelles. He was raised by wolves.
Your clenched arms. Expose your sex so he can take in your voluptuousness. Do not be restrained. Take his energy. He's basically saying, he's basically pimping this lady to this wild created man, saying we got to go take one for the team so we can get back to work. Okay? She says, do not be restrained. Take his energy. When he sees you, he will draw near to you. Spread out your robe so he can lie.
Wait a minute. Was that a way of saying take something else inside her?
Let's let him go. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And perform his primitive task.
Day before the game, you don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
His animals, who grew up in the wilderness, will become alien to him, and his lust will groan over you. Shamat unclutched her bosom, exposed her sex, and he took in her voluptuousness. She was not restrained, but took his energy. She spread out her robe and lay upon her.
He keeps repeating
She performed
himself.
the primitive task of womankind.
I think
his lust
what he's
over her.
reading does.
For 6 days and 7 nights, Enkidu stayed aroused. Okay, this guy was aroused for 6 days and 7 nights. And had intercourse with the harlot until he was sated with her charms. But when he turned his attention to his animals, the gazelle saw Enkidu and darted off. The wild animals distanced themselves from his body. Enkidu was utterly depleted. His knees wanted to go off with his animals, went rigid.
So she basically
say it. I know where you're going.
She basically fucked the life out of him.
Yep. Well, now the
Enkidu
animals
was
don't want to have
diminished.
anything to do with him.
Yeah. What was he? Wait, was it because he cheated on the animal?
That's what it seems.
This is crazy.
His running was not as before. His legs were weak. And 6 days, and who knows how many rounds he went. Okay? But then he drew himself up, for his understanding had broadened. Turning around, he sat down at the harlot's feet, gazing into her face, his ears attentive as the harlot spoke. The harlot said to Enkidu, "You are beautiful, Enkidu. You are become like a god. Why do you gallop around in the wilderness with the wild beasts? Come, let me bring you to Uruk Haven, to the holy temple, the residence of Anu and Ishtar, the place of Gilgamesh, who is wise to perfection." Now, what's interesting here, I want to point out is she's going to take
that wasn't supposed to
this
be
Enkidu-
place. I guarantee it was supposed to be palace.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. So is this?
I wish I cared about this. I really do.
I don't care. I'm just trying to figure out how this makes sense. Like, did they create this thing and get Enkidu and put it out in the woods, and then why did they put it out in the woods? Why didn't they just keep it inside the palace? And I don't understand why would you do this and then have to go get it and go through all this to get it back?
Well, they're getting him out of the woods.
Yeah, but they put him in the woods.
Well, no, she threw him into the woods and then he
and then sent them to go get him later. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but it's 20 years later.
Oh, they changed their mind. Okay.
Person back to
she's a
Uruk
woman.
Haven.
They don't.
All right, so we're talking
they
about
gotta
going
make
back
up
to the
their
kingdom.
minds,
At this
Yeah.
kingdom, Anu himself is living amongst people. One of these quote unquote gods of the tablets, and I do mean lowercase g gods, they masqueraded as gods, and his goddess Ishtar are actually living in a temple amongst regular people. So these people engaged mankind in ancient times in a way where we worshiped them, we honored them, we brought them our offerings. We thought they were real gods. They were just masquerading as gods. They weren't gods. They weren't the creator of the universe, and they themselves knew this. When is the perfect time to approach a species on a planet? When they're in their developmental stages and they're very low. If you want to violate any universal laws of engagement, which I believe these Anunnaki beings did, if you want to violate, universal.
What are the universal laws of engagement, and who set up these laws?
Billy
Is he
Carson.
talking like Star Trek shit, like the whole thing, like where you can't go and because that's
The
what it
Prime
sounds
Directive?
like. The Prime Directive, yeah. Like,
I'm
holy
not
fuck,
sure.
man.
Universal laws of engagement. You want to take advantage of a situation due to ignorance of the being or the species on a planet. You luck out if you arrive when they're in the Stone Ages. You really luck out, because then you can mold them however you want. You can get them to become your slaves without them thinking they're slaves, because they'll believe you're a god. And that's exactly what happened. She says, the residence of Anu and Ishtar, the place of Gilgamesh, who is wise to perfection, but who struts his power over the people like a wild bull. What she kept saying found favor with him. Becoming aware of himself, he sought a friend. So this Enkidu now realizes knowledge of self. He didn't see himself as an animal anymore. He's beginning to see himself as a sentient being. And so now he's going to head off to this kingdom with this harlot. Enkidu spoke to the harlot, "Come, Shamat, take me away with you to the sacred holy temple, the residence of Anu and Ishtar, the place of Gilgamesh, who is wise to perfection, but who struts his power over the people like a wild bull. I will challenge him. Let me shout out in Uruk, I am the mighty one. Lead me in, and I will change the order of things."
Man, that's some weird looking fingers.
And another wristwatch.
I don't know. Those almost look like ancient Greek type things, right?
It's whatever AI came up with.
He whose
I'm
strength is
digging the Super
mightiest
Saiyan hair.
is the one born in the wilderness. So now he sees a challenge here.
Bayudin.
Shamat says to
The
Enkidu,
Sita.
"Come, let us go, so he may see your face.
Bayudin.
I will lead you to Gilgamesh. I know where he will be. Look out, look about, Enkidu inside Uruk Haven, where the people show off in skirted finery, where every day
What do Enki do? Whatever they tell him.
is a day for some festival, where the lyre and the drum play continually, where harlots stand about pretty, excluding voluptuousness, full of laughter, and on the couch of the night of the sheets are spread. Enkidu, you who do not know how to live, I will show you Gilgamesh, a man of extreme feelings. Look at him, gaze in his face. He is a handsome youth with freshness. His entire body exudes voluptuousness. He is mightier and more strength.
Wait a minute, was he the first?
First Mentos commercial.
He is. So he's saying that
He was the
Gilgamesh
fresh maker.
was voluptuous. The woman was voluptuous. They're all voluptuous. What? They all had big tits.
Apparently, according to the AI.
Yeah, yeah. I think Red Scorpion's right. Sounds like some cheeks were spread. That's what it sounded like, man. It sounded like something got out of here. You know, there was some weird shit going on.
She goes and meets him 1 week later. She's like, "Yeah, come back with me and overthrow the kingdom."
Yeah, yeah. She went. And,
Conniving,
I wonder if there was any
trifling, plotting.
chair, like there was a chair someone was sitting in somewhere.
Than you, without sleeping a day or night. He's saying that Gilgamesh is so huge and powerful that this guy doesn't even need to go to sleep, and he still has the most power, or is the strongest being that they know of in that city, in that kingdom. Enkidu, it is your wrong thoughts you must change. It is Gilgamesh whom Shamat loves. And Anu, Enlil, and La have enlarged his mind, even before you came from the mountain. So what she's saying is, Gilgamesh's mind, his mind had been expanded. His knowledge and wisdom had been expanded. He had taken in so much knowledge from who? Anu, his son Enlil, who was also known as Yahweh in the Bible, and La. Okay, we're talking about three people that have extremely high knowledge in the Sumerian tablets, have taken Gilgamesh in as an adept initiate and given him a supreme amount of knowledge, making him one of the wisest men on the planet.
Age of Apocalypse remake is looking horrible.
Yeah, who are these? Why? What the fuck?
So
I think
she
that's
says,
Cable.
Gilgamesh got up and revealed the dream.
Kitty
saying to his
Pryde.
Mother, I had a dream last night. Stars of the sky appeared, and some kind of meteorite of Anu fell next to me. I tried to lift it, but it was too mighty for me. I tried to turn it over, but it could not budge. The land of Uruk was standing around it. The whole land had assembled about it. The populace was thronging around it. The men clustered about it and kissed its feet as if it were a little baby. I loved it and embraced it as a wife. I laid down at your
Wait, what? So there was a rock that crashed to the earth and the guy had sex with it?
Pretty sure that's what he just said.
That's what it sounded like. What the fuck, man?
your
Hot
feet,
rock.
and you made it complete with me. The mother of Gilgamesh, the wise, all-knowing, said to her lord, Riamat Ninsun, the wise, all-knowing, said to Gilgamesh, as for the stars
You
of
got
the
me
sky
for
that
about 4
appeared,
more minutes,
and
by the way.
meteorite of Anu, which
All
fell
right.
next to you, you tried to lift it, but it was too mighty for you. You tried to turn it over, but it was unable.
We're gonna just stick around for a second, all right?
I will.
I'm gonna play a little. Thanks for everybody for coming out. Wow, 3.5 hours. That's a long time. I'm gonna play a little something just for everyone on the way out, and well.